jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to WCS. What's good, everyone? And good morning. Almost afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we back for another one. First of all, salute. And you know, gotta show love to the supporters. You know what I'm saying? One love to the supporters who rock with the channel each and every time. You know what it is, man. It's much appreciated as always. Continue. Hit the like button when you're in the building. And that's all it is, man. You know, you want to drop some comments in the chat, then drop some comments. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about this situation that went down. Oh, man, unfortunately, you know, it happens, man. It's not the first time I heard of something, you know, dealing with a boxing promotion like this. It's not the first time. If you go to fights, you will see this. You will see this go down like anything else. This fight was supposed to go down at Findlay Toyota Center, Prescott Valley, Arizona. And, you know, the main event was supposed to be Mickey Bay and Tevin Farmer. But outside of Mickey Bay and Tevin Farmer, you had another situation with Lorenzo Truck Simpson and Ty Edmonds. That's the more interesting part of this media talking point when it comes to why the fight was, you know, doomed from the start. I mean, you're talking about two individuals like Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay, which if they're heading into a fight card like this, they should definitely have the T's crossed and you know, so they can split the ropes and dot the I's. You know what I'm saying? That should be taken care of, but not all the time. It doesn't matter. Like you have a big name in boxing and your people get together and you're gonna get flown out to these promotions for a regional fight card, and it totally turns into a disaster. You would think where you've been in your career and the people that's around you, there's no way this shit can happen. But it happens, people. It happens to the best. It does happen, man. This shit happens on the regional level a lot. A lot, y'all. A lot. So let's talk about some things, man. First of all, Tevin Farmer, 30 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw with 6 knockouts, man. Mickey Bay, 23 victories, 3 losses, 1 draw with 11 knockouts. Mickey Bay's last fight was December 2019. You know what I'm saying? That was at Madison Square Garden, and he lost a split decision to George Kambosos Jr. So this fight between him and Tevin Farmer, it's not the first time it's been canceled. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to link up for a good minute. And come to find out, this fight card ended up being canceled. Now, from my understanding, and I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, is that the money wasn't, I guess the promoter didn't have the money in escrow, or, you know, he didn't have the money verified before the fighter was going to step in the ring. I seen a fight card take place where the fighters step in the ring, out the ring, and they're looking for their check, and the promoter don't have it. Not because he didn't make any money. It's because somehow, his business dealings or whatever he had going on, he might have, been short, or he had to pay other people or entities, business entities, investors, whatever the case may be. That's why not just anybody can be a promoter. Not just anybody, because it's a dirty, dirty game, man. It's a dirty game when it comes down to it. Promoters holding purses, making up shit, trying to act like a fighter didn't do what he's supposed to do if it came down to the weight or something like that. They're just fine any old way. And sometimes on these regional cards, fighters sign contracts for less money than what they actually get and do the tax. I told you on a live long time ago about that, on how they signed the contract for less money. Say you're supposed to get 4,000, but you sign the contract for 600. You know what I'm saying? Just for tax purposes. Depending on where you at. Like here, anything over 10 is taxable. You know what I'm saying? Anything 10 and over is taxable. Some fighters, they might try to fight multiple times in a year. So the promoter signed them up for a contract with very limited money, but yet they're getting more. And then they end up getting what they basically signed the contract for. It's a dirty game out here. You just got to know the people that's with you, that have you. They secured, they pretty much secured the funds. They guaranteed you'll be taken care of. And they assure you, I got your back. I have it. No need to be worried. In this case right here, man, it was so many moving parts. Oh my God, it was so many moving parts. And I just thought to myself, I've been there. I seen shit like this go down. It was absolutely, man. It's just amazing. This still goes on, no matter if another year comes into to life itself, the life of boxing. Situations like this continue to happen because boxing is an unregulated sport and it has the same format. No matter what promoter you're with, boxing has the same format. Like it's you're gonna go in the same way. They're gonna fly the fighters out, this, that, and the other contracts, this, and then either the contract's gonna pay you. The promoter's gonna pay you the contractual agreement, or they not. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's verbal or it's in writing. Some people are going to get, they're going to be sufficed. They're going to be made whole. And then others are not. They're going to be taken advantage of. And it's going to be like, what are you going to do about it? In this case, it was just too many people talking. I want to get to the bottom half before I get to the top half. The bottom half of this shit was a glove situation going on between Lorenzo and Ty. Okay, anybody who's been in boxing understands the difference between title and grant. The manufacturer. Title and grant. If you don't know, I'm going to give you a basic screen share so you can see for yourself the difference. It's not that hard to figure out, bro. But I'm gonna give you a screen share so we can definitely get an understanding the difference between title gloves and grant. All right. So let me go over here. Captain Chaos in the building. What's good? Yo, what happened? Who made the mistake and so what? Bruce Gas, Boxer Jazz. What's going on? Triple OG in the house. Salute, Scotty. This was a Mickey Mouse production. Oh man, that's 2 shots fired. God damn, a Mickey Mouse production, man. Hey, you seem to be spot on with that, man. DBMH, salute WCS, salute their DB. Captain Chaos say, when you saw the clown, you should have known this was a circus act. He should have gave away free pay-per-views and lollipops for the Bay Farmer fight. Oh shit, man! It's so much to unpack in this fight. It's so much to unpack, man. Bruce Gass say it was a Mickey Mouse Productions, man. That's what it seemed like, man. It was absolutely embarrassing, bro. This shit was embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. This shit right here was embarrassing. Let me screen share something. Let me start with the simple shit first. All right. Let me screen share. Okay, so let's look at these title gloves. Look at the price points: $59.99, $49.99. You know, I'm not really showing you the gloves to look at, you know, the display on how they look, because there's so many different, you know, gloves out here from Title, different colors and so forth, right? That's Title. That's the price point. You know what I'm saying? Different quality when you compare them to the Grant. You know what I'm saying? It's different quality. You know what I'm saying? Grants are considered to be a better quality glove when it comes down to pro fighting. And I guess the dilemma was that they was fighting in Title, they being Ty Edmonds. And let me give you a breakdown of the fighters first while I'm at this too. Let me show you what the hoopla was about, right? Let me share screen again and kind of give you an idea of what the talk was about, man. This is just crazy, unbelievable. This is Ty Edmonds, right? He's 14-4, 9 KOs. Now pay attention to this record. He does have 4 losses, but it's clear that when you're doing analytics right on these fighters, you just can't look at the 4 and say, it's 4. It's a lot of things that needs to be analyzed in a guy's record, especially on this level right here, because he has 4 losses, but he's never been stopped. And he has 14 victories, 9 KOs. Now look at Lorenzo Truck Simpson, right? He's 11-0, 7 knockouts, 22 years old. He has a huge push behind him. Okay. So the biggest dilemma, one of them, was that Lorenzo Truck Simpson was weighing Grants and Ty Edmond was weighing Title. Title said they wasn't going to fight, supposedly, and they didn't want Lorenzo Simpson wearing Grant gloves because they ain't trying to get hurt, or whatever the conversation was about. And then the people over there were saying he's going to get hurt regardless, this, that, and the other. But they had a situation with the gloves. That was the first situation. And then it came down to the next, where the promoter presented some Title gloves for Lorenzo Simpson to wear. And obviously the gloves was used. You know what I'm saying? The gloves was used and they had blood on them, which if you come in the box and this is supposed to be a guy that you feel comfortable that you're going to beat. So what do they have blood on them? So what? That means somebody else has already been in there and, you know, and blood, sweat, and tears. They fought. They went to the arena and they fought. Yeah, it seems disrespectful, but everybody's on a different budget when it comes to boxing. They offered them some gloves that was already used Lorenzo, in my opinion, should have just put him on. God damn it. You went through worse when boxers spar all the time. They wear used gloves all the time. Man, I done been to promotions where trainers are rolling gloves up, taping them, and just so the padding can be very thin on the gloves. I done seen boxers hitting walls. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's paying attention, hitting walls to soften up the padding, loosen up the padding of the glove. So, I guess it can be less padding and more knuckle. But I always say that the glove is there to protect the hand of the fighter. But also it can definitely do damage if you're placing the glove on your hand and it has very little padding. According to your punching power, yeah. It can feel like you're hitting your opponent with your fist. I've seen it all at these promotions. Real talk. I've seen it all, like the punching on the wall, rolling the glove up real thin and tight, taping it up, until your fighter is due to go in the square. All this shit they do. Massaging the padding in the glove to a certain area, then wrapping the gloves, putting the gloves on. Some of these lower tier promotions don't even have the commission in there, except when they say, "Hey, you good?" Blah blah blah. They come in there and they sign the hand wraps, and then they come in there and the glove may be already be on, and they feel around the glove and make sure everything's good, and then wrap it up. Put the tape on there, sign, and all this other shit. It's just too much that goes on with these regional promotions. Like I said, I don't know the whole inside layer, but in this case, it just took me back to the bullshit that goes on sometime in the boxing game. So Lorenzo Simpson obviously was considered the favorite. All right. I want to read some comments from the video because you got so many. This is how boxing, this is how YTC, this is how fans always talk and they don't pay attention. You know what I'm saying? They just think it's a damn carousel and everybody hop on to go around in a circle and say the same shit. Let me read some comments from this video. One person said, money don't fix everything. It's a very unorthodox business practice to take cash from someone who isn't even involved in the contract. They simply don't trust it and can't blame them. His dad did what he's supposed to. They giving him money pretty much for a knockout. You don't do this before a fight. I don't know how long that person's been in boxing, but they seem like they've been around the block. All right. This person said he didn't want to fight. You could see that at the weigh-in, he went from looking foggy at the weigh-in, then the gloves, and now the money, and he gets his money in cash. He didn't want to fight. His team didn't want to fight. Much respect to Devin Haney for trying to save the fight. Remember these comments, right? Look at this. He's scared to face Lorenzo Simpson. All right. Remember that. They scared to death. They aren't trying to see Truck, aka Punchmaster. Okay. These are casual fans leaving comments. It's easy to be on this keyboard. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know the specifics about each party's situation, so I have no opinion. All the best to whoever actually right. That's about the most neutral comment that I've seen so far. Then it comes to this person. He just don't want to fight. That's all. This is supposed boxing fans thinking this a game. Thinking is no way that a fighter should go in there and advocate or protest something that they don't see that's beneficial to them, their fighter, and the health of the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want to pick up the win. But who's saying the guy was going in there to lie down? He don't come off to me as that person is going in there to lie down. You know what I'm saying? Remember his box wreck. I'm going to get back to it in a minute. You can't mess off the money and then have it at the last minute. Bad business. Too many moving parts. Way to step in, Haney, to try to save the show. Great business mind in such a young man. Listen to this comment. Bro, his mom's AK manager is not on the same page as the husband, period. She wants to be in control, period, because she is the manager. She attempted to clean it up and so was her husband. I don't know if they were scared, but if someone else is putting up the money and they sign for it, who cares? Period. Now, let's leave it at that comment, because this person right now, right here, really don't understand what contracts is. You heard the father, which I haven't played the video, but the father mentions that if Devin's going to give him the money, show me a contract. If you're going to give me the money, show me the contract. Because obviously the promoter didn't have the money confirmed for these fighters to get paid. So therefore, with Ty Edmond and Lorenzo Simpson, they had a dilemma, multiple dilemmas. First, it was the grant gloves and the title gloves. You know what I'm saying? And then it came down to the contractual agreement with the promoter. Now, I salute Devin Haney, you know, the current reigning undisputed lightweight champion. Salute to the champ. Much respect. He attempted to step in and say he will take over the purse. He will come out of his own pocket and take care of Ty Edmond, whatever that purse was, right? The Pops was saying that, yeah, all y'all coming over here, y'all bogarting us. We already know this is set up for y'all to win, this, that, and the other. And then Team Haney was like, man, we don't work with them. We don't know them just like y'all don't know them. But anybody who's in boxing, man, knows who the A side and the B side is. They know who the rising star is, and they understand who's the guy that has, just a career going on. But sometimes you look at box recs such as Edmond. Let me go back to Edmond's box rec, right? So remember I told y'all, look at this 14 victories and four knockouts, right? I mean, 4 losses, right? 9 knockouts. The reason why I told y'all to look at that, because I look at these box recs all the time. And one thing I understand is when a fighter is in red, I really go down his resume, and I not only look at those losses, but I look at who he lost to, and I look at their resume also. Look at the 4 losses. Check this out. Look at the 4 losses that Ty Edmond has. Kendrick Ball Jr., 16-1-2. Excuse me. Lost the unanimous decision in an 8-rounder. 8-rounder, y'all. Pay attention. 8-rounder. That was his first 8-rounder for Ty Edmonds, right? First 8-rounder. Before that, he had a 6-rounder with Demetrius Walker, Zachariah Kelly. He won a 4-rounder, Rashad Jones, so forth. Okay. 4-rounder here, 6-rounder here, 8-rounder down here with Carlos Dumas. Now, look at this. He has 2 losses back-to-backs. What did I say? Unanimous decision. Unanimous decision in a 6 and an 8-round fight. One against, you know who he is, Steve Rose and Justin Thomas. 7-0 fighters, 11-0. You feel me? UD losses, not knockouts, UD. Then in his debut, Jamon Bergios, he lost a split decision in a 4-rounder. My thing is, if you listen to the comments, they're talking about this man is scared to fight Lorenzo Simpson. They're talking about this man is scared. This is this casual boxing fans running their mouth, right? They saying Ty Edmonds is scared to face Lorenzo Simpson. He's 11-0, 7 knockouts. He's not a world beater. He might be talented, but he's not a world beater. Real talk, he's not. He hasn't did what Virgil Ortiz has been able to do. He's not sitting in 19-0, 19 knockouts. He's not. I don't know why casual boxing fans are always talking about a fighter scared. Like, this dude obviously looked in shape from the video. He looked in great shape, and and looking at his resume, he seemed like he can go the distance. He's a very tough fighter. Y'all need to get out your language and telling that a fighter is scared because they want to do proper business. Obviously, him and his team was scrambling because the pressure was right there in their face. From the father to the mother, you know what I'm saying? The mother wasn't playing no games. But you know, if you want to look at his trainer, his father, right? You got to look at it like this when he was talking about putting in contract. Because in some cases, just because Devin Haney might have been trying to front the money, and you're talking about somebody who know very little about the business aspect. So I'm just giving my opinion, right? I'm just trying to insinuate how things might have went wrong. So if they was to take money from Haney for whatever money that was worth to step in the ring, it could have went many ways on why they took the money. And then he wasn't in a contract with Haney for that fight. He was in contract with whoever was promoting the fight. So you don't know what stipulations are in the contract as far as, you know, Edmonds taking money, no matter whether it's cash money or not, taking money from somebody else, taking money from the opposite team. You know, he could say, well, put it to you this way. It seems like you took money to take a dive from people who was on your opponent's team. You know, I'm gonna sue you for this, that, and the other. You know, anything can happen. I don't know what the stipulations, inclusions are. I'm just saying, I don't blame the father for saying, you know, it's okay. You want to put up the money out your pocket? We hear you, but show me a contract. This is not something dealing with a team that don't know. Like, they understand the business. They wasn't just gonna get all enamored with the fact that they seeing cash money from an undisputed world champion as Devin Haney. That wasn't it. They just didn't want, on the back end, repercussions to come back and bite them in the ass with some legal lawsuits or any type of legal ramifications coming from a promoter who's already considered janky. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ray J. You know, a janky promoter, so to speak. I don't know the legal ramifications behind that, but just taking money, you know, to step into the ring, and then rumors start swirling that, hey, so-and-so took money before the fight to go in there and throw the fight. I don't know. I don't know that line of work. I'm not embedded, nor am I educated enough, nor was I at the physical location to kind of see what was going on. You know what I'm saying? What it was really about. All we know is they say the fighter works. I mean, the manager and the team works for the fighter, but in this case, it was more so they was working for him, but the fighter was pretty much following the orders of the manager, which is the mom. You know, he was fighting. He's following her orders. He was like making it seem like he wanted to fight, but they say don't step in the ring, because it went from the gloves to the money, to, you know, almost like the fighter's not being mentally prepared to step in there and fight somebody right like Lorenzo Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Now they were saying all these collective bookmarks that was preventing no boy from stepping in the ring. Now all these obstacles all of a sudden appeared, and you know, Edmonds, he wasn't mentally prepared. They didn't want Simpson fighting in Grant gloves. Of course, the money is a bigger issue. It was just so much freaking going on in this fight that it got canceled. Look, and I haven't even talked about Mickey Bey and Tevin Foreman, because this fight right here, which I consider to be the co-main event, this fight right here, bro, this just took over. All the yeah. Man, that is just so frustrating, bro. I don't know, man. It's hard to peg what was going on in Edmonds' camp. Like, Them saying they're not gonna step in the ring if he's wearing Grant gloves. Don't know what was going on with that. Like, I mean, I guess they felt some type of way about the quality of gloves they had versus the quality of gloves that was over there with Lorenzo Simpson, which, obviously the Grant gloves, in my opinion, are better than the title. I don't know why it could have not been more organization going on, especially when you have Mickey Bay and Tevin Farmer. Then you have Devin Haney's team on deck. Yeah, Lorenzo Simpson. You know what I'm saying? You have the higher tier, mid-tier fighter camps on deck. So why can somebody step in and have a bit more organization? And where was the promoter? Like, what was going on with the promoter? It wasn't like he was putting on the grand finale. I mean, what happened? He couldn't verify funds. I mean, what's the freaking deal? You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, this is not the first time I've seen this shit happen. This happened more than you think, man. This just happened to play out because a lot of, the camera was rolling and freaking, we're talking about a fighter who's associated with Devin Haney. And they trying to bring him up. Southpaw, 5'10", 68-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? 11 victories, undefeated fighter, 7 knockouts. They trying to raise him up, man. That's all. Let me get back to this chat. Punchback skunk in the building. Salute to you. The Bishop Blue should give Ty Edmonds, the respect of saying his name, not calling him an opponent. Yeah. I wasn't even here to, man, I'm trying to keep it on topic. You know what I'm saying? But it's boxing love across the board, though. But his opponent, Ty should be respected because the man's been in there with higher level competition than Lorenzo Simpson. Period, bro. Damn, they canceled Bay Foreman. Yeah, for real. Bateman said they pissed him off. Casuals are ridiculous. Yeah, the comments they was leaving. Mr. Pass on deck. What's good? What's good with you? They're just talking as if dude's scared, and he's been in there with higher tier competition in 8-round fights, 6-round fights. He's been up there with better competition. Dude has never been stopped. Ty Edmond had never been stopped. What are these cats talking about? He was scared. This is the point in time where saying a fighter is scared, it makes you look stupid. Absolutely illiterate when it comes to supporting the sport of boxing. It makes you look dumbfounded. This man's been in with tougher competition, and you think he's scared because he has a more popular following. Oh, it sounds familiar, huh? This shit sounds familiar, huh? The popularity diluting someone's sense of thinking. Yeah, it sounds familiar. It could be some extra sauce in there. You're definitely right. It could be, bro. It could be a lot of things. We're fighting on a regional card like that, and everything is just scrambled. I call it scribbled. Everything is just scribbled. It's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And look, I have to commend Edmonds' team for standing there square because it was a lot of talking. And then he said, man, you come on here bumping your gums and all that. Man, you can't sit up there and try to fast talk and bombard people who's been in the game, especially boxing. It's a lot of fast talking that goes on in these gyms. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of fast talking that goes on in this gym all the time, man. They ain't nothing they ain't used to. These people hear you. Like they always talking about Southern slang and Southern dialect and all this shit. It's a lot of people that talk real fast, bro. And you understand everything they saying. They so used to talking fast and getting their point across till they get frustrated when somebody say, man, yeah, you coming over here bumping your gums and everything, but you ain't listening. Oh, man, if that ain't the truth, you come over here bumping your gums, talking all fast, but you ain't listening. You say all that, a million words a minute, and then turn right back around and they tell you, hey, you finished? All right, let me get this out, bro. This ain't my first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Pat said, WCS, I didn't watch the event, but heard it might be the worst event in boxing history, according to some people. Heard the camera work was awful too. Mickey Bay and Tevin Farmer didn't fight, from my understanding. The fight was canceled. You know, having Dev doesn't mean anything. He was there for support. Absolutely, I agree with that. You're right to a point. You're right. For the fighter that's attached to him, I mean, you know, you do have the popularity of Devin where he's at in boxing and the Haney. So you have to put that numero uno. You can't just act like nobody know him now, you know, and everything. They know who the Haneys are. All right. But outside of that, it does get a little shaky because we had Darren Cunningham that's attached. You know, a lot of other fighters. I'm just saying, you had people that's attached, and just because you with the name doesn't mean you're gonna get the results. All right, just because you with the name doesn't mean you're gonna get the results. You know, Bill Haney has made it clear to plenty of people it's about his son. Period. Just like Teofimo Sr. will tell you, it's about his son. Period. Just like Bozy Ennis will tell you, it's about his son. I mean, it's not many father-son tandems, but other fighters like in a position to be around, you know, the silhouette of Devin Haney boxing right here, his boxing silhouette right now doesn't mean they're going to go out there and remain undefeated. You're just around a person who's already gotten to a place where you're trying to get. They're trying to work for that. You know, just like Darren Cunningham, they was pushing him hard and he ended up taking the L in the worst way. So I'm not sure Devin could have done much. He could have. Look, if money was an issue, and we know this guy's purse wasn't extreme, you know what I'm saying? Let's just think about the numbers. Let's not get it twisted like the numbers was super high for this opponent, Ty Edmonds. Let's not make it seem like that was the case. I don't think he was getting paid that much. But with that said, he's not going to go in there with the experience he has, him and his team, and they're not going to go in there and sacrifice their fighter. Wasn't that his mom and dad? Or not? Was that his mom and dad or not? I don't know. Somebody tell me. I don't know too much about Ty Edmonds, to be honest. Was that his mom and dad? Well, that's just a mom and dad trainer, manager, you know, that was there and that was their fighter? Was it that's just their fighter and they husband and wife? He was the trainer, she was the manager. Somebody let me know, man. Somebody let me know. But at the end of the day, they felt like they didn't want to send their fighter in there to appease what was going on with Lorenzo Simpson. Them getting everything they wanted, the Grant gloves, you know, being the more with the popular team and everything with Haney. You know, you heard the father say something like, we know everything is set up for y'all to win, this, that, and the other. They just wasn't having that. I don't think they flew out there or drove out there, however they got up there. Flew. I don't think they came out there just to lie down, and this dude has never been stopped. Seriously. This might end up being a bad fight for Lorenzo Simpson. You never know. Just because you have an alias truck, I mean, come on, bro. Like, people have to understand that, man. Like, some of these guys are the wrong opponent on the right day for them. They're the absolute wrong opponent, but it's the right day for them to go in there and get a win. Just think about the person who beat Darren Cunningham when he was coming up. You know what I'm saying? He was undefeated. It was a lot of push behind him. He ended up taking a loss. There's been plenty of fighters like that. You can only go so far being around Team Haney as far as with the training and everything, but you have to split the ropes. I don't think Edmund was going in there like people are saying that he was all scared and his team wanted to pull out. Why? The dude's been in there with higher tier competition than Lorenzo Simpson and all of a sudden he's scared. And Lorenzo Simpson doesn't have 100% knockout ratio, though. He has a 63.64 knockout ratio percentage. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about, man? People need to chill with that shit. It sounds good, but it's not true. Has this ever happened before? It's crazy. It has happened, man. I've been to a promotion. Look, I know a promotion who scheduled a fight card with about, I think, like 14, 15 fights. Schedule a fight card. And you know what does I do? Anybody who know the reason, you know, they gotta pay the slot fee. Some people, however they have to have the shit, you know, they gotta pay the slot fee and everything. And then the fights get canceled. The fight get canceled, right? And then those people say, "Oh, the fight canceled. You know, you're gonna return my slot fee." And the person's not picking up the phone. They act like they don't know no English. And this person is just out of the money that it took for them to pay the slot fee. And then on the regional level, you have individuals that's the A side and the B side. The A side more 9 times out of 10, the one is trying to get the opponent to get the win. They have to pay for their opponent. So if you pay for your opponent and all that other shit, get the plane tickets and this, that, and the other, and you get there, the fight don't happen, you out. It's no refund on something that's already went down. You have a return flight to and from. You know what I'm saying? You know, then that fighter might be out some cash, depending on how they have it arranged. Man, I done seen fighters get paid before they step in the ring. Like, this is different shit. I've seen fighters get paid, not the entire fight card, but certain fighters get paid just to assure, hey, we got you, and leave. They was calling their name to come into the ring, and they're gone. And look, I was somebody who was back there watching everybody getting wrapped up and seeing the fighters who got paid because they supposed to be the bigger name on the card, and they left the fight, y'all. They left the fight card. This shit happens, man. It's crazy, bro. Oh, yes, mom and dad. Okay, that's his mom and dad. So they was looking out for the best interest. Now, when they say they son need to be mentally ready, it's a lot. Like I said before, it's a lot to deal with when you have people in there talking fast and crowding you in the dressing room, and they trying to act like they trying to cushion you up and make sure you taken care of. You know, give you like a freaking ego massage before you step out there. But mental plays a huge role in a fight. Your mental blade is very important. Very, very important. I don't know how Ty Edmonds was handling all the pressure that he was getting. I don't know. But I know the mother, she was on guard. The mother was not having it. You can tell the mother has this wasn't her first motherfucking time hopping on that Bronco and going for a rodeo. You know, it wasn't her first time, man. She wasn't having none of that shit. If they wearing Grant gloves, we ain't fighting. We ain't fighting point blank. You know, and then it came down to, you know, them talking about, you know, when Devin Haney said he'll pay the purse, the father was like, okay, give us a contract then. And then it was like, but you getting cash. Give me cash in the contract. Give me the contract and the cash. Is he wrong for that? Is that, look, is his father wrong for that? No, man. No, he ain't wrong. They say, oh, you're going to have cash money before you get in the ring. Show me a contract. Because what a contract does is pretty much validate what transpired outside of the promotion contractual agreement. That's all. It just allows them to be removed from liability, from any legal liability that may come their way later. Once the word get out that Devin paid cash or whatever he's doing for this dude to step in the ring, that is nothing more than that. People can't sit up here and say, oh man, I heard he took money to take a dive, this, that, and that. The father is saying, I want to do good business, draft up a contract and give it to me and we good. Of course, that wasn't going to happen because too much work. That's too much work, man. They was like, no. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to pay you cash. What if the actual promoter, who's not even living up to his end of the deal, what if he get wind of this and say, I'm putting Ty Edmond in a lawsuit because he was paid off by the his opponent's team. And then Team Edmonds, they have to go up there and try to defend themselves and say, no, we weren't paid off. They just guaranteed that they was going to take care what we was supposed to get from the promotion. And he was just assuring us, yeah, I'm gonna take care of that, your purse, as long as you get in the ring. Let's go. But without a contract, it's word of mouth. And we know how word of mouth is. Word of mouth isn't really validated. There's no honor in that, really. 100%, it's no honor in word of mouth, bro. Okay, so Obi said exactly, Mama's management, Pops train him. There you go. There you go. There you go. They say this made me respect Devin Haney so much more. He real for what? Look, the money Devin Haney, look, first of all, dude is absolutely right. It's good that Devin Haney was inserting himself in that, but let's not get it twisted. He wanted his fighter to pick up that win. You know what I'm saying? He wanted his fighter to pick up the win. Let's get it twisted. He wanted his fighter, Lorenzo Simpson, to pick up that 12th victory. That's all that was. So him being in the position he is, you know what I'm saying? Devin Haney Promotions. Of course he's supposed to be there. Of course. But the money that he was coming out of his pocket is really like, some of us taking out $1. That shit probably wasn't even $1 to what the Devin Haney's then balance is looking like. It probably was. It's like $1 bill, dog, $1.50. Real talk. Somebody said, I know I got the money, and then the guy's mom said, I know you got the money. We know that. And then they dapped each other up. That wasn't the issue. Some people say the mother and father wasn't on the same sheet of music. Maybe so. But the father is the trainer and the mother is the manager. The manager is handling more administrative logistics than the father is. The father is handling the physical components and getting his son ready for the fight. The mother is doing administrative logistics and all that, taking care of all the paperwork and stuff and making sure her son is taken care of. That's very, very important at the end of the day, because in the court of law, paperwork is admissible. You can present that as evidence. Let's go. I got the paperwork. I got the contract. They're not trying to be on the shelf because of being locked in a lawsuit. Look, I know a guy, right? And he'll tell you, this shit went down. I know a guy who was driving to a fight and he was pulled over and his driver was arrested. Let me see, what was it? Was it arrested or he had expired? No, I don't think he was arrested. His driver was his car was impounded. His driver car was impounded. They got pulled over and someone right with the tax and insurance and all that shit. But he was on his way up to the fight card and he didn't make it. So look, this is me. I'm only media, right? But I know the guy. I know him as a boxer. We talked or whatever. I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm calling him up on the phone before he even found out. I said, dude, where you at, man? They waiting on you. He said, man, I ain't gonna be able to make it. This and that happened. The car got impounded, all this other shit. I said, man, they talking about suspending you, bro. They talking about suspending you for your purse amount or something like that. He said, man, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I said, but you better call the promoter right now, because if you can't make it up here, maybe they'll let you weigh in on the day of the fight. That shit happens on regional cards. That's real talk. If shit happened, this, that, and the other. But this particular promoter, if I was to tell you the promoter name, then you'll wonder, you'll know straight up why they didn't get this dude any leeway, right? So he said, man, fuck, man, goddamn. You know, this dude got suspended, man, and he was on the shelf for a good minute, all because He didn't make the weigh-ins, and they felt like he was just, avoiding the fight. I mean, it was paperwork. He was signed. They put him on the shelf, and he couldn't come back until he paid the fine. All because he didn't show up, and nobody heard from him. I don't know why they weren't able to get in contact with him. But I'm going to tell you from what I seen, they weren't trying to get in contact with him. He was late for the weigh-ins, and I didn't see people on the phone for the promotion side was trying to get in contact with him. That's fact, man. I was talking to him on the phone, So I told one of them, and they say, well, how do you get in contact with him? I said, I'm talking to the guy, say he's on his way. When he didn't show up, they said, we'll give him this amount of time. I said, he ain't gonna be here in that amount of time. It was a wrap, bro. He got suspended, bro. Toby on deck. Salute to you. Big Blunts and Boxing, what's good? OG at WCS, what's going on? What's going on with it, man? Happy Saturday to everybody that's in the building. Hope you healthy. Alexander on deck. Salute to you. WCS, what up, good brother? You had me rolling the other day. Hey, man, you know what it is, man. Captain Chaos, man, and the whole crew. I swear, man, things get a little shaky, man. You gotta squad up and put your defenses up. That's all. But with this particular fight card, man, it was in shambles, bro. It's just getting a little bit more publicity because, first of all, it being in front of the lens, all right? But it's nothing new in boxing. Shit happens this fucked up all the time, even with the glove situation. Shit happens like that all the fucking time, man. But my thing is, let's not act like Ty Edmonds is a bum. Let's not play that game. Let's not act like Lorenzo was in there with a bum and he was going to walk over this dude. That is not the case, man. That is not the case. His opponent had much more. Ty had much more experience than Lorenzo. And yeah, they was happy to be on the undercard of a Tevin Farmer, Mickey Bay. Of course. Who do we to blame in this situation? First of all, the promoter. We blame the fucking promoter. Definitely. We blame the promoter. And then we have to kind of blame the teams themselves. Both teams, really. Because it's boxing at the end of the day. If you have faith and confidence in your fighter, then are they mentally strong or mentally weak? I don't know. I don't know the entire depth of the situation on how many people was in the dressing room. I can only basically make a head count for who was in the camera view. We don't know how many people was in the locker room, but there was a lot of motherfucking talking from different people. There was a lot of mouthpieces going rah, 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 rah. That's stressful, bro. Even on the fighter, man, that's stressful to hear people in there talking all fast, man. And we're going to get this. You're going to pay the money. And, as long as you're fighting this, that. And the fighter's like, oh, my God, dog. I didn't come here for this shit. I'm not getting paid. And then they turn around and say, well, Devin Haney will pay you. We know Devin can pay him. But the father was right. Put it in writing. We want everything to be paperwork. The paperwork etiquette has to be complete. It has to be right. Because they always saying, you always hear, they used to say a lot about black people are so quick to jump into a deal or a situation just because it's dealing with money. Not in this case, bro. Here you have a black team who's saying, I want the paperwork. I want things to be done correctly. That's what I want to do. I want things to be done correctly. If you're going to pay him, make sure you put it in the contract. Not that y'all just gave us some money, and then you turn around and say, I gave him some money. He know what it is. He know what it is. No, that's not what we talked about. You gave me the money because from what we was hearing from the promoter, he wasn't going to get paid. So if my fighter's not going to get paid, how am I going to send him out to fight and he's not going to get paid and it's all fucked up for him and he feels like he's being treated like shit when he's been in there with a higher level competition and possibly could have won that fight against Lorenzo Simpson. He possibly could have won that fight. Dude was in shape. Ty Evans was in shape, and Lorenzo Simpson was in shape. All we needed was to bail the ring and see what was what. I'm telling you, dude, with 4 losses, don't get it twisted. He's losing unanimous decisions in some of those fights. And I think he's had 1 split decision on his debut. It is what it is, bro. The shit was an absolute debacle, for real. What does it say about Mickey Bay and Tevin Farmer? You know, they had fights canceled several times. And when you look at the thumbnail, man, Mickey Bay was up there talking and saying, you know, in this particular live stream that, you know, we can get this schedule and do it again. And man, it comes to a point, right? Does anybody want to see this fight? Period. Does anybody want to see you and Tevin Farmer fight after it's being canceled so many times? I know the lady on the video said one fight that was in Dubai, someone died over there. I guess the president, that's why the fight didn't happen that time. And you look at the news, yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? But does anybody really want to return? What promoter is gonna put this fight on? You know what I'm saying? All the money that was lost from whoever attempted to put this fight on for yesterday. I mean, come on, bro. Like, what do we got going on here? Who's gonna jump in and make this shit happen? I don't know, bro. I don't know about this. I don't know if I want to see Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay fight. For what? And this is a perfect example on why fighters should make sure they get the most out of their business and brand as a fighter. Don't get mad when fighters are negotiating their worth, because you don't want to be that fighter who has been at the top level and now you're fighting at regional cards that makes no sense the way you've been. You don't want to go from Madison Square Garden, Las Vegas, or anywhere, right? The meccas of boxing, to later on in your career, you're fighting on regional cards. And people saying, dang, they used to fight at freaking the MGM Grand. You remember that? Wow. They right here in our own backyard, man. This is great. Kids, you enjoying yourself? You don't want that shit. So you want to make sure you negotiate your shit properly. Get branded, get sponsorship, be able to invest in a business or you know, any type of investment that you can make a residual income from. Because boxing ain't forever. All it takes is one fight to turn you into someone that's no longer considered medically cleared to compete. Once you are medically unfit to compete in the sport of boxing, you're done. This is the only occupation you ever knew, and you cannot pass medicals now. You're out. You're done. Now you have to go somewhere else, either train in a gym, because you don't have to be medically cleared to train. Train fighters, which isn't going to pay that much, especially if you're not, you know, with a future world champion or a current world champion. And even then, it's not like trainers be getting this crazy amount of money. So you definitely have to make enough to try to invest according to what your you know, if you're living in your means or not, living within your means. I mean, it can be a lot of shit. You don't have no drug habit. You know what I'm saying? If your medical bills ain't piled up from your boxing career, you might have some going on that you have to medically keep on getting treated. I don't know. It's a lot of areas, but when fighters are negotiating their purses, we need to have a lot more respect for that and stop just going on here acting as if fighters should take pennies for a big fight. They may not get the opportunity of a lifetime like that. You know what I'm saying? They might not be able to get 13 opportunities. You know what I'm saying? They may not have that opportunity to have 13 big fights in their career. It may not, bro. That's all I'm saying. It may not be that way. I was just, when I heard this shit, I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. This looks horrible for boxing. This looks like standing next to the dumpster eating a 5-course meal. This look all bad. Like, why can't the sport of boxing evolve so we don't have situations like this? Why? Because it's not regulated, man. Look, anybody can take advantage of. They got a little money in their pocket. Anybody can try to be a promoter, but it takes pockets to be a promoter. It takes pockets, y'all. It takes pockets. And your pockets have to be heavier than the normal average person that's getting a paycheck in the corporate world. Your pockets have to be crazy heavy. You know what I'm saying? Your contact list have to be heavy. You know what I'm saying? You have to have heavyweight pockets, heavyweight contacts. You know what I'm saying? Your frequent flyer miles have to be heavy. Everything has to be heavy, bro. You can't be a lightweight when you want to be respected in the boxing game, because you have so many people that have experience. So when they see you coming around and you got a little money on you, it's many ways on how to derail people's fight card and make them look crazy. I've seen it. I've seen it, bro. Man, this is a cutthroat ass sport. You just seen it right here with this card. It's cutthroat. How you not going to pay the fighters, bro? How you just going to say, yeah, we're going to give you cash and you going out there and fight? No, you're going to have it before you step in the ring. Once they verify the funds, they're going to draft up a contract right then. No. The father was saying, I have a contract with the promoter. I don't have a contract with you. So everything that your business you're trying to do with me is outside of the contract that I have currently to step into the ring, for my fighter to step into the ring for this fight card. It's a lot of legal terms that can go with Haney giving him money outside of the promotion, even if the promotion seemed like they was failing to compensate this man for stepping in the ring. Kudos to the father, bro. Kudos to the mother. They on their square, man. Get the paperwork shit. Real talk, get the paperwork. Because we all know we got liars. Liars. They'll sit up here and run that game on you and then turn around and say, I never said that. This is what I said right here. No. Shout out to his parents, man. They have to make sure they fight is taken care of, man. All that rah shit that was in the dressing room, anybody would get a little bit agitated, like, God damn, man. Why don't y'all go, man? I'm not even in the mood to fight right now. I'm just saying. I know it's boxing. I know he understands, absolutely what it's about, but a fighter can get out the mood to fight. From everything that was going on, the fast talking, everybody in there, this, that, and the other. I mean, it comes down to shit like, man, that's their son, bro. They want their son to be mentally prepared so he doesn't go in there and get hurt. He might have been in there with higher level competitions, but he might go, his mindset may not be right. He go in there and split the ropes and get hurt. And then now that lays heavy on the hearts of his parents, his father, his mother. And now they saying, damn, only if we would have just not looked at them paying us the money, and we didn't think about our fighter. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give him that speech, right? Hey, son. Hey, Ty, you've been here before, man. I know there's a lot going on, but man, suck it up, man. Go out there and beat this guy. You can beat him. Hey, Lorenzo Simpson is not an easy go. Ty Edmonds is not an easy go. So it was best for both fighters to be, mentally prepared to step through the ropes. That's all. Tonight, man, we got Teofimo Lopez and Pedro Campo. I'm looking for that. I'm looking forward to that fight. I'm looking forward to get back on track because boxing is a dysfunctional relationship, y'all. I'm looking forward to get back in the groove, top rank affair, to see the takeover. Teofimo get back in the groove. So I'm very curious to see who he calls out. First of all, I want to see how he's going to look in this fight. I don't have any doubt that he's going to do well in this fight. But I'm curious to know if he's indeed able to get this W. Who is he going to call out next? Is it going to be a Josh Taylor? Will it be a Ryan Garcia? I don't fucking know. It's so many names at 140 right now that I don't know, because I know within the Teofimo camp, they're not going to just give anybody the shot. We've seen that play out with Devin Haney. They're going to be very strategic and business orientated on who they fight. Look, you have to salute these people for how they're moving in the sport of boxing. You have to. You can say what the fuck you want about his dad being a big mouth, boisterous type of dude. Who cares? His son negotiated. Bro. His son negotiated for the Vasyl Lomachenko fight. He negotiated with that many fucking fights. He held this ground and negotiated, and then turned right back around and held this ground again to face George Kambosos, the mandatory. So don't act like he's just supposed to fight anybody who call him out. They debunked that shit when they fought George Kambosos. I don't think it was a bad selection, a poor selection choice. Even though all the people was saying, hey, fight Devin. They chose who they wanted to fight, went the purse bid. They almost got away with it. But, this is a dirty, dirty game, man. Floyd Mayweather swooped in there with Logan Paul, and he said, nah, this is my show. You forgot? Hey, he was playing Roy Jones Jr.'s son. Y'all must have forgot. Because Floyd did that to freaking Canelo Alvarez and Triple G before. Savage, bro. Dude is a savage when it comes to this money. I don't think boxing fans is ever going to take the sport extremely serious on both sides, both fighters, without putting popularity into the equation. They got to like one fighter more, and they got to like this fighter. Instead of just looking out, okay, yeah, he's making a smart ass move. This is why. This is why he's making a smart business move right here. This is why he's fighting this person. So we're going to see what happens with Teo. Because they've proven their business moves, the sponsorship that they have a Budweiser sponsorship, y'all. You hearing me? They have sponsorships, bro. That's the goal. To get that sponsorship money, to have that collateral income. That's huge. That's crucial. That's real big, bro. Sponsorships are huge, man. So it gives you a little bit more leeway to leverage negotiations. And shout out to Teo for doing it when he was about to step in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko. Because that fight very well couldn't have happened. Teo only had one belt, y'all. And this is why I love talking about, doing comparisons, right? When it comes to recall memory. Teofimo Lopez negotiated with one belt, the IBF title. One freaking belt against the unified champion Vasyl Lomachenko. And he stood his ground. So why isn't it beneficial and feasible for others to respect that he ain't the only one out here doing that? I'm just saying, he had one title, the IBF title, and this is for the unification, and he stood his ground and negotiated. And that shit was on free TV, y'all. This dude negotiated guaranteed money on free TV with only 15 motherfucking fights. You heard me? One title, he negotiated for free TV against a guy that was unified champion. You get where I'm going with this? Y'all really need to clean your act up. If you don't want to do the comparisons and understand that other people did it and y'all wasn't crying and blowing snot bubbles and shit. But yet, when it comes to dang Crawford and Spence, y'all just get all butthurt and talking about he shouldn't do shit. No, think about what Teo did. 15 motherfucking fights. One belt. And he stood on the square for 800K. Let's say, nope. Put me Put me, I want more money. I want more money. And it's gonna be on free TV. I want more guaranteed money. And got this shit, dog. So if T.O. is willing to basically raise the bar that early in his career, why y'all mad at other fighters who are doing it a little bit later in their career? We have to understand how that fucking works, man. Smart business. Caleb Plant did the same thing. He got paid. He's living good. And he was the IBF champion. Caleb Plant will go down as the IBF champion, bro. Teofimo Lopez will go down as the IBF champion before they made one of the biggest deals of their boxing career. I'm just putting it out there, bro. I know they're in different weight classes, different circumstances, but Canelo was a unified champion. Freaking Vasil Lomachenko, unified champion. They got paid pretty damn good. Caleb Plant got paid much more than T.O. at the end of the day. But shout out to T.O. for standing there square and really, you know, as they call it, hunkering down and saying, no, I'm not going to accept anything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to negotiate what I think I should get, even though I haven't made that type of money yet. This man negotiated a purse, and he had me made close to that amount of money per fight. And whoever that was going to allow him to get that extra money, they knew they weren't going to get this shit back. So what I'm telling you is, don't get all butthurt and sit up here and retread the same information and consider yourselves the baddest debaters on the land when you don't even want to look back and see how certain things had already happened while you crying about what things are currently happening. If Bob Arum lost money on Terrence Crawford, that wasn't the first situation that a fighter got paid and he didn't know where he was going to get his back end money. That's not the first time. That's not the first time with T.O. That's not, bro. I'm just putting it out there. It wasn't the first time with T.O. And then he turns back around and say, you know what? I'm not going for that little money again. I'm going to purse bid. Come on, man. Shout out to the boxers who understand there's no retirement plan, there's no health care for you, and you got to go out here and get this shit. Every fighter is not going to be able to do it. And you're going to see them coming back to the ring 44 years old, 45, 46, and they're going to have multiple losses on their record and still not making enough money to stop boxing. It's a tough sport, bro. Real talk is a tough sport. This is what I'm gonna end it with, right? I want to talk about the Chris Eubank situation and Conor Ben. A lot of people are not talking about this, but you know, I put some videos out on IG about this situation. Conor Ben said, not Conor Ben, Chris Eubanks Jr. said, Senior, his father, hasn't talked to him since. You know what I'm saying? If I'm correct. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the article which I read. It might have been Conor Ben's father, but I'm looking from having interaction with the Eubanks. I'm trying to find out who it was. Let's see. Give me a minute. I just thought it was very interesting that he's saying his father, he haven't heard anything from his father. It might have been Ben. It might have been Conor Benn's father. No, it was Eubanks Jr. It was Eubanks Jr. Okay. This is an article from Boxing Scene. Eubanks Jr. revealed his father hadn't spoken to him since since the Benn fight was made. Eubanks Jr. has revealed that his father was opposed to him facing Conor Benn on October 8th and has not spoken to him since the fight was confirmed. Eubanks Jr. and Benn went head to head in the press conference. They're just talking about all that. And then Eubanks Jr. says, "My old man has gone MIA, missing in action." Eubanks Jr. said, "I haven't seen or heard from him in a few days since the fight was announced, which is shocking. I don't know where he is or what he's doing, but I can't get a hold of him. I know that he wanted me to wait. He said the fight would be bigger if you wait another year. Both get a few more wins, build a fight, build a rivalry, and then get on in a football stadium next year with more money, more exposure." Because this fight did kind of out of left field. True, he's right. It did come out of left field. I wouldn't say it is a rush job or premature, but it is quick turnaround. And his view was that we should wait and let it marinate. I agree. I agree with everything Senior's talking about. I wasn't willing to let it wait. The opportunity is here now. Yeah, we might make more money if we wait another year, but other things can happen, and I wasn't willing to give up the opportunity. There has been times in my career where things have been presented to me and I have waited and they haven't come to fruition. I wasn't willing to take that risk with this fight. So we are going to get it on in a couple of months with or without my father's blessing. Grown man shit. He's saying, hey, I'm making grown man decisions. I think he is going to come around to it eventually and hope he will be fully involved. We will have to wait and see. He was super emotionally invested in all my fights, even in my press conference. He was always front and center, Eubank said. In my corner on fight night, he is always there. And on the flip side, Conor dad wasn't. Funny to see how the roles are reversed now. Conor dad is fully up for it and wants to be involved. Man, imagine that shit. Hey, I've had the opportunity to engage with the Eubanks. They different, bro. Oh my God. They speak as if they're businessmen, period, not father and son relation. I'm just saying, man. I've seen them in a natural setting for real. The way they communicate with one another is not disrespectful, but they have a different type of aura about them, man. It's it's almost like you're talking to a business partner every day, like, or you're talking to your college professor. It just seems like everything is outside of a personal level of communication. It almost seems like it's a tad bit on the level of being strangers who know each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know somebody, they still a stranger to you. They're not as close, but you communicate about things that's on that stranger level instead of how long you've known the person. It's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? You have these eccentric type of moments. Like, I remember when Eubank Sr., I rolled up on him at the casino and I said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" This, that, and that. I said, sure. Let's go into Studio B. And I have no problem. So when we went in Studio B, Eubanks Jr. was in there. So he rolled up to him and both of them was kind of just talking. They started talking right away. And they have these stoic expressions when they're talking. Like, you know how some relatives meet and it may be a smile or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's my brother. That's my sister, man. That's my cousin. That's auntie. That's aunt. You know what I'm saying? These two, they have these type of facial expressions as if it's always about everything else in life besides them being related. Like, not in a disrespectful way, but it's this ego. You know what I'm saying? It's this aura about both of them I don't know if they really clashed behind the scenes, that the DNA ran strong in them when it came to their personalities. But goddamn it, man, their personalities. I'm talking about 1000%. They speak to each other like businessmen. I'm not talking about cussing each other. I'm talking about like kind of dry conversations. And don't dare interrupt them now. Don't do that. Hey, don't dare interrupt them, dog. I seen that shit play out. Hey, I seen Eubanks Jr. tell a media guy, look, I knew better, dog. I'm sitting back there, and this dude roll up with a camera. They talking. Say, excuse me, all Eubanks Jr. excuse me. And he went back to talking. He didn't go to a full sentence, dog. Don't you see us talking about? He said, excuse me. He put his hand up. Excuse me. He continued to talk to his son, man. I said, big dummy. I mean, come on, man. You didn't think that was gonna happen? Yes, that shit's gonna happen, bro. Why you think I was standing over here waiting? But I respect Eubanks Jr. saying there's a lot of things that he chose to wait on that never came to fruition, right? I respect that about him. That's grown man shit. Um, I can see where his dad coming from, but in this era, I don't know about waiting a whole year. Because with everything going on outside, you know how they always talking about we might be going back into a shutdown and all this other these pandemics and all these viruses keep coming. You never know what 12 months hold from now. So for him to say, I've waited around and things never came to fruition or materialize, I get it. So for them taking the fight right now, it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, dog. Like, it was talked about here and there, but the fucked up thing about it, if you go back into the articles, right, it seems like Conor Ben was just scrounging for names. He had Keith Thurman, man, and he had so many names up there that he was talking about fighting, and then all of a sudden, several weeks pass by, and we hear that he's gonna face Chris Eubanks of the catchweight. I was like, damn, is this real? Because Chris Eubanks is at 147. I mean, we're talking about the Eubanks of the Bens. That's a history with between their fathers. It's a legendary history between them. All of a sudden, people, the light bulb is going to click on and wonder why Eubanks Sr. was saying, hey, if you would have let this marinate a little bit more and y'all pick up some more victories with some top names, then we can kind of bring y'all together so people can look at it like, oh man, we've been waiting for this shit to happen. I'm not saying they're going to talk about it like Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, but they have the names, they have the DNA strands. You know what I'm saying? They have the lineage. But within that year, you would have had to fight bigger names and then start getting your voice out there and calling out, hey, Eubanks, I know you have a high weight class. Let's go, mate. Let's get it in. It's time. Let's do this. Let's make it worth the while. Let's fight like our fathers did in the past. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That's where his dad is coming from. But Eubanks is like, no, let's do it now. He needs a kind of being. He needs something that perk up the interest of the boxing fans, and that's where we at with it. That's where we at, people. Hey, certain people talking about it, whether it's the Louis Vuitton jacket he had on, because we all know Floyd Mayweather had the same jacket. Somebody made a comment to me, he looked like a whole piece of luggage. Shout out to the human beings on earth with jokes. Somebody say Chris Eubanks Jr. look like a whole piece of luggage, dog. Hey, I don't know. Let me see. Let me do some research right quick. I'm just curious to know how much that jacket costs, because that's not the first time I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how much that thing costs. They said Eubanks Jr. dons $10,000 Floyd Mayweather style Louis Vuitton jacket at first Conor Ben press conference. So from what I'm hearing, the jacket is a $10,000 jacket. Obviously, it's custom for him. The sleeves are well fitted, the arms, and it has the pouches on the front. So kudos to him. I wouldn't have anything like that in my closet, because if I was to wear that shit to the fight without the income, I feel stupid. And then for him, it didn't service him correctly, because to his left you have Conor Ben that's in a black slacks and a black tank top, and here he is, black slacks or whatever, black shirt and an LV jacket. All right, let me see what they have a special name for this jacket. I don't see what a special name is, but yeah, $10,000. So if you got 10 racks, to drop on this Floyd Mayweather S Louis Vuitton special, then you go right ahead. Make sure you take some pics so I can use it as my thumbnail and say what not to spend your money on. You know what I'm saying? But man, let me get to the live chat, bro. Let me get to the chat. Mr. Pass say, WCS, I saw some people say that they feel Eddie Hearns is ruining Conor Ben's career by making this move. I talked about this on my other live. I didn't think so. I think it was a great move for Conor Ben to take this fight with Eubanks, because he had absolutely nothing going on with his career at 47. It's absolutely a good move for him to face Eubanks. Absolutely. Their father has that history, their legendary history together, even though they don't even scratch the surface of their fathers. I believe Conor Ben understands that 147 is nothing for him right now. Like, even though he's ranked in certain sanctioning bodies, it's nothing there as far as, whether he wants to take a big name, call out a big name, or he's looking for just an opponent that has a name already and, he can make pretty decent money. I think with this right here, I don't know what the dang purses is going to look like or whatever, but this is something that's been brewing for quite some time. The Ben and the Eubanks, you know what I'm saying? This has been brewing for quite some time. But to hear his father say he should have waited another year, imagine Conor Ben waiting another year at 147 pounds. Would it have benefited him to wait another year, being that we're assuming that the titles at 147 will be fragmented by then, just like Josh Taylor at 40? We may have had the undisputed, and then the titles are vacated or whatever, and he could have fought for a title shot within a year. Or it's better just to say, you know what, let me put this name into my boxing ledger and let me go up here and compete at a higher weight division against a name that's connected, from both of our fathers. Let's try to do it. How can Eddie Hearn be ruining Conor Ben's career and he's not really doing anything at 47? Eubanks is not really doing anything at 60. What does it make? It doesn't make that big of a difference, man. Go get it. Like I said, I don't know who's being paid what, but people are going to say what they say, man. Critics, you know what they say. You know what they say. You know what I'm saying? You know what they say about that. He said the father thing on Talk Sport Radio. Of course it's about their fathers, but they was born into it. You know what I'm saying? They was born into it. They was born into it, man. But they nowhere close to the legendary boxing matches that their fathers was able to put on, man. Their boxing skills in general don't add up to their fathers. That's what's wild about this human anatomy, right? DNA fucks you over sometime, a lot. You could be one of the best athletes in the world, and you have to be a special one for your DNA to filter down to your kids. And you have that special dynamic, not just one kid, but two kids to pick up your DNA strand, and they're very athletic. You know what I'm saying? That's DNA fucks people over all the time, man. Let me see. Can I pull that up right quick and give you the audio? Appreciate that, Mr. Paz. Let me see. Can I pull it up right quick on Talk Sport Radio? Let me see where we at with it. Talk Sport Radio. See, can I get this audio right quick and what he said? Is that no? Hold on for a second. Yeah, hold on for a second. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to look for what the title. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Like we were saying in the South. Here we is. Here we is. Let's get to it. Appreciate that, Mr. Paz. Let's listen to some audio. And this is citing Talk Sport Boxing. Let's listen to this audio, which should be very interesting. I'm not gonna listen to all of it now.
It's not concerned. Not in the slightest. I mean, you've got to remember my team know me like the back of their hand. You know, so we know what I walk around at. We know what I feel strong at, and you know the sparring I've been getting in over the period of years now.
Chris Jr. was saying just a few moments ago, you know, he's got to lose the weight, and it looks, you know, I'm looking at 157, and he's just flown in from Vegas, so it's going to be interesting how tough that is. Tony, you know all about that. How tough is it to come down? It must be easier going up, surely.
Yeah, you know, I think Chris would hopefully he'll make the weight. I mean, he was the one who set the weight conditions to us, and we just agreed to it. So he said he can make 157. So, you know, if he's saying that, then obviously we're believing what he's saying.
So they're talking about Chris Eubanks actually getting down to 157. Okay. I know somebody mentioned it was 158 the other day. I'm just going off the article. 157. Chris, they're saying Chris Eubanks is the one who designated that weight limit. So if he basically place a stipulation in there with the numbers, he has to make the weight himself.
Obviously, there's maximum big fines if you don't make a weight, but he set that weight limit.
Yeah. Connor, what about how important is this? Is this about Dad and Chris Eubank Senior? Is it about Dad, or is this when that bell goes? Forget that.
Do you know what? There is legacy on the line here. This fight is as big as it is because our two fathers fought and captured the imagination of the public, and everyone tuned in to watch their fight.
Warriors.
Everyone tuned in. From the apple don't fall far from the tree. Junior's just.
Yeah, I understand. I seen both of them. I just want to get a little bits and pieces of both. I'm not going to listen to the whole video.
Always gets mentioned to me. Forget anyone else in the welterweight division. Eubank Ben. Always gets brought up.
Absolutely.
So let's make it happen, and now's that time.
Yeah. Did you have a bit of a ruck at an awards dinner or something? Was it nearly a bit of a set to you and Junior?
No. He's just who he is.
What's his weaknesses? What do you think, Connor? What do you look at Chris Eubank Jr. and say, right, this is our beat? Or is it just a desire on a night? Who's got the most?
No, I've fight. You see the way I fight. I fight like a starving man, and I leave it all on the table. I leave it all. Every single fight I leave it all in there. That goes without saying. He's a spiteful, ferocious, vicious fighter himself. But all that screams to me is an exciting fight. I'm not sure if he is overlooking me. I think maybe he thinks he's had an easy touch. But I'm going there and do what I do.
Phone charging slowly.
Carl's
yet to be discussed now.
Lou.
Yes, I flew in yesterday. Was out there for 2 months, living that lifestyle, and now we're back to business. We've got a.
Did you hear what he just said? I told y'all. He said living that lifestyle. What did I say on my live, man? You only know what I'm talking about unless you. I'm telling you, Eubanks is that guy, man.
Look forward to this. Absolutely. O2, big crowd. Roy Jones Jr., will he be in your corner again?
That is yet to be decided. With this type of fight, I would actually like my old man to be in the corner with me.
Would you?
I would like that. I told Roy that he would be in my corner for the rest of my career. This is the one fight where I would have my old man just because of what this all means to us.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
But I don't know if he wants to be in the corner. That's the question.
You're joking.
So
see what I mean about business, the way they talk and this, that, man, I'm telling you, they have a different level of communication, man. He wants his pops in the corner.
We have to find out where his head is at with that, and from there we'll decide what to do.
You've not had a fallout with him.
What's that?
You've not had a fallout with him.
No, it's not that. He just
I'm expecting him to walk through that door. Comes up, doesn't he?
I'm hoping he does, because since the fight's been announced, I haven't actually heard from him.
No.
Which is amazing to say. He's been, especially early in my career, he was, there front and center for all my fights, and the press conferences, at the weigh-ins, in the corner, and for the biggest fight of my career, he's gone missing. It's incredible to say, but that's what's happened. So I'm waiting for that phone call. I'm waiting for him to walk through the door and say, "Okay, son, let's do this."
I'm going to put it out there now. Has anyone seen Chris lately? Let us know, will you?
Yeah. So it's interesting, but we'll get there eventually, and we'll figure it out.
Chris, do you ever look back at your dad's fights? Because I grew up in that sort of era when you had Collins, Eubank. Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, do you ever look back and say how good your dad was?
Of course.
Yeah.
These fights were what inspired me to get into the sport. Watching him and Nigel inspire a nation, captivate the public's interest and become superstars.
Yeah, absolutely.
With their fights. That's what made me say, you know what, I want to do that. It's going to be tough, but that's what I want.
I mean, that's a pretty good interview. I mean, you can look at it on Talk Sports, man. I know someone dropped a link. I think Mr. Paz dropped a link in here earlier. We appreciate the info, Mr. Paz, on that. I'm definitely going to check out the interview extensively once I'm off this live. But, shout out to you, man. That's what I'm talking about. People provide info. I never watched that video, but I will when I get off. What's going on, Andrew? What's good? Definitely nice ice drop on that. WCS, have you ever gone to any local boxing events in Atlanta? If so, was it a good experience? Yeah, I've been to plenty of boxing events, man. Plenty. Of course it's going to be a good experience. Look, even if it was a bad experience, I'm not going to say it was a bad experience. I'm not, because still, I go to fights down here in the A. Boxing is not. It seemed like it was picking up its spark a little bit down here when Tank Davis started to come, but the boxing gyms are thriving down here a lot more. Seriously, the boxing gyms are thriving. But as far as the boxing notoriety, popularity, people coming down here, the big promotions to throw the bigger promotions throwing fights down here, that has yet to take off, because Atlanta is more like, Hollywood, the entertainment. So it takes more than one time to come down here. Top Rank came down here for Jamel Herring and Shakur Stevenson. It takes more than one time, man, for Atlanta to fall in love with boxing like that. You just got to keep showing up, like Gervonta Davis, PBC. You got to keep on showing up and let us know, you got love for the A, and more people start to come out. But yeah, I've been to plenty of boxing matches down here in the A. I've shot plenty of cards. Gave the steals to the fighters. They're everywhere. They out there. All you have to do is look at fighters is down. They out there. So that's why I say, man, say what you want. I put in my work. I low crawled. You know what I'm saying? I low crawled in this bitch. I don't know if they still do it, but in my city, once a year. Hold up for a second. The Golden Gloves gym would invite the fraternities from the university over to get their butts kicked by the kids. The kids was tough, though. That's good shit. They just had a smoker. At Buckhead Fight Club today from 11 to 1. They just had a smoker today. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that went off pretty good. I was thinking about going up there, but I changed my mind. But yeah, they had a smoker today. Somewhat similar to what you're talking about. People can register to jump in the ring. That's about as big as local boxing events get where I live. Man, Atlanta could be way bigger than, for boxing, but it's just a lack of respect for people to come down here, because we just don't have that history of continuance when it comes to promotions showing us love for boxing matches. Like, yeah, you can get regional cards put on down here all the time. There are regional promoters who put on very good cards down here in the A, but no one really knows about it unless you just, you follow the sport and you know what that's about. We would definitely like to have that Vegas type aura down in the A, or that NYC or Florida, even Florida. Florida put on a hell amount of fights. You know, MMA, bare knuckle fighting, all that, man. You know, Georgia's boxing commission is tough. That might be another reason why people don't fuck with the A. Seriously. I've witnessed it. Our boxing commission down here is extremely tough. And that's why we can't get no shine. That's part of why we can't get no shine. They don't play around down here in boxing commission. You have to be a certain age to even be approved to fight down here. Unlike some other regions, man, you can be well in your 40s and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can be in your late 40s and you get approved for boxing. Not down here in the A. I think the A, you have to, it's an age. You can be in your 30s. I don't know if it's age 38, 36, 38. I'm not sure, but if you're over that age, you ain't getting approved, bro. It ain't happening. It's not happening. They don't play that shit. Now, it depends on what promotion you are too, but from what I heard, that they don't really allow, you know, any fights. And you know, if you heard about the skip fighters, you know, from the guy interviewed up there in North Carolina, where he brings fighters straight off the couch from his neighborhood, whatever, get them approved for the boxing license, and they go in there and become somebody's opponent. That I did a story on that. I did a video. I drove all the way up to North Carolina and interviewed him. I did several fights with Skip. You know what I'm saying? Several fights. Me and him was rolled around with Team Williams Jr. countless of fights, man. He is known to bring fighters out off the block into the ring. Off the block into the ring. So when you want to talk about tomatoes or bums or whatever, yes, he's one of those guys, but his fighters don't get approved in the A. So when fighters are doing cards in the A, they just can't have someone that's getting off a couch. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but with his fighters, he can't get them approved down here. From what I know. I don't think Hearn is ruining Ben's career with the Eubank fight. They're about to get paid a good deal of money. Yeah, somebody was talking about Conor Ben said he was going to use his poker money or something. Conor Ben said on an interview with Talksport Radio in the UK that he isn't upset when people say Nigel Ben's son when they talk about him, because he said his dad opened up doors for him. That's respect, man. That's respect right there. Real talk. That's real true respect, man. Because a lot of fighters that's in the sport, man, like they're not together. You know what I'm saying? They don't even communicate. Because when you're in a competitive sport like that, and let's just say your pops was at the highest level, you know, they earn the world championship status. They earn the Hall of Fame. They earn the legendary tag and all this other stuff, right? It's tough when their sons or daughters doesn't match up or add up to what they was able to accomplish as an active fighter. It's tough on them. Depending on how your kid is built, it can absolutely destroy a family relationship. It can diminish your bond forever, because the father may have had a level of competitiveness in him, you know what I'm saying, or her, him or her, that it wasn't passed down to the kid. But respect to him for saying, hey, I don't care what they say in Conor Ben's son. I don't give a fuck. I'm good. He opened the doors for me. Just like Hakeem Ruffin Jr. His dad opened some doors to him. He said, I never had to want for anything, man. My dad made sure we was taken care of. What's wrong with that? At the end of the day, it's the good with the bad. It's the good with the bad, bro. The good is his father was in his life, in his son's life. His father made it to the championship level. His father was able to provide for his family. The bad thing is when you carry the name over, they expect you to somewhat emulate or damn near get to the equality of what your parent did. And sometimes that don't play out that way. You're not as good. So I'm good. He has a sense of thinking and calmness about him and say, you know what? I don't care what they say if I'm his son or not. Because a lot of things I have in life is because of him. That's good shit, bro. Eubanks is dangerous, but he ain't no KO machine like Triple G that Brooke fought. Yeah, man. Hey. When I seen Eubanks sparring, like I said before, there's a lot of shit he did in sparring I haven't seen him do in the ring. He can fight. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? That's like the Hugh Hefner of boxing right there. Remember I told you, Chris Eubanks Jr. is like the Hugh Hefner of boxing, man. When he said that lifestyle, dude, that's the Hugh Hefner of boxing. Eubanks Jr. is the Hugh Hefner of boxing, man. I'm telling you, bro. That's the link that was put up there for that sports talk. Y'all check it out, man. It's boxing content, and I'm definitely gonna look at the full interview. Salute to Mr. Pass for dropping that link. Conor Ben ain't no fool. He understands his father's legacy is the ultimate head start in boxing. Look, Mitch. You ain't never lied. Look, it was a situation that went down with a relative where, you know, a relative, I'm gonna keep it as dense as possible. A relative, a kid of a relative was talking some shit on social media, talking about generational wealth and everything. And little do they know that generational wealth, for a lot of people who already has that wealth, they like, okay, what have you done in your life to believe that you deserve the generational wealth tag or for this, that, and the other? And not everybody wants to understand it deals with respect too, right? It deals with respect. So you put it out there. Do you want a head start in life, or do you want a jump start? Which one? Because you keep running your mouth, you're gonna have to get a jump start. That means someone's gonna have to revive you, because every time they see you, it seems like you're tired, you're struggling, you know, you just can't get it on the right track. You know what I'm saying? You've been told how to get this, and this, but you just can't get on the. But look, when you have generational wealth, as they call it, right? You can get a head start. You can maybe have the funds to go into a business. You can possibly put that in investments or savings and do some things with it and live a bit more comfortable than your peers your age. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? The ultimate head start. You want a head start or a jump start? Which one you want? But if you want that head start, that shit has to come with respect. That shit has to come with the understanding that your parents know that you're on the right track and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're carrying on the family legacy the right way. You respected them for what they was able to do for you, and not sit up here and criticize them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I totally believe in that. That's a good point. Conor Ben ain't no fool. He understands his father's legacy is the ultimate head start in boxing. It's a good privilege to have. I know he's proud of his last name, as he should be. That's well put. That's well put, man. That's well put. Debbie says you're playing the Conor Ben video, but it's Eubank. Okay, yeah. I had to give the listeners on both sides, though. You know what I'm saying? If I would have, I had to give them both sides, bro. He need the money for poker. Pissed myself when Conor said that. Hey, man. Hey, Dion, what's good? He may not be lying. Shit. We don't know how them cats are living. I know they living better than me. They living better than me, man. Better for Conor Ben to get publicity and a big check versus Eubanks Jr. for their homeland, opposed to getting beat the fuck up by an American welterweight that we all know he ain't ready for. Well, we don't know if he ain't ready for it until he actually get the fight. But according to who it is, if we talking about Jaron Ennis, a lot of people say, well, he ain't ready for Jaron Ennis. Well, is he ready for Virgil Ortiz? I don't know, man. Some people might say, yeah, he might be ready for Virgil Ortiz. Is he ready for Jahad Tucker? We don't know. You know, it goes off popularity. It goes off popularity. A lot of people might say, "Oh, he got he got the Ben name. You know, Jahad may not be ready." We don't know. There's plenty of people that's coming up. I don't know, man. Even Jahad would be a tough fight for Conor Ben. Even with the name and everything, that'd be a tough fight. It's so many people in the welterweight division, bro, that Conor Ben would be a tough fight. What about Conor Ben, Keith Thurman? Do y'all think Conor Ben will be able to fuck with Keith Thurman right now? You know what I'm saying? What about David Avanesian? Because he's ranked right behind David Avanesian in the WBC. Like I said, he's ranked number 5th in the WBC, number 4 in the WBA, number 5 in the IBF, and number 4 in the WBO, right? So let's just say Yordenis Ugas. Would y'all want to see him fight Yordenis Ugas? Because he has very limited names in front of him. He has Jaron Anderson and Virgil Ortiz, but we don't see him getting that fight because both of them guys are looking forward. And the forward to them is being on the roof. Okay, I'm on the roof right now. I'm at the highest point. I'm ready. So that's the only place that Conor Ben has to go. I doubt he'll want to fight down a Cody Crowley or Michael McKinson who just lost to Virgil Ortiz. But those are names he has to deal with. David Avanesian, the Cody Crowleys, Michael McKinson's. I don't know. It's good for him to move up because it's you know the belts are on lock at 147. The belts are on lock, man. Kind of running his checks up so when he decides to fight one of the American welterweights, he'll be paid accordingly. Make as much money you possibly can, man. Make as much money as you possibly can. That's why fighters need to market themselves better so they can be attractive to some of these sponsorships outside of their occupation. You know what I'm saying? Fighters can get sponsorships, but just the way they act in general, like, I don't know, man. Needs to be more exposure for these fighters, man, with well-known sponsorships. Wheaties don't really fuck with, you know, fighters like that unless you do something amazing. If you hear the fighter and they flipped over the top rope and motherfucking at the same time a paratrooper was coming in and the paratrooper swooped down and caught the fighter before their head hit the floor and then, you know, gassed it up out of there and took the fighter out the roof. I mean, it has to be something amazing, dog. I don't know, bro. Ben versus Eubanks Jr. would be better fight than Brook versus Khan. I don't know what numbers it'll do. I know their fathers are legends over there, though. Absolutely, it is, man. No doubt about it. Their fathers are legends, man. Global. Fitness would be the big fact in the fight. So I got money on Ben. I don't know, man. He gonna have to prove it. I got Eubanks, man. And the only reason I'm going for Eubanks, he's the heavier fighter, right? But I've seen him spar. He's much talented than what he shows in the ring. So let's see if he's able to go in there and get it done. I got Eubanks all day, man. I got Eubanks all day. Seriously. That's my pick. W says, Ben said in the interview that he asked Eubanks once, "Where are you going?" And Eubanks replied, "Vegas, my friend." And Ben said, "Why?" And Eubanks replied, "Life, my friend. He parties a lot." Yes, he does. I'm telling you what I know, bro. Eubanks is the Hugh Hefner. Ladies, look, Eubanks got some of the baddest women in the game, bro. Eubanks has some of the baddest women in the game, bro. He throws parties, man. Eubanks, man, I'm telling you, he's living that life, bro. Seriously. He's living that life, man. These women love Eubanks. He's a Hugh Hefner of boxing, bro. Don't think I ever told you. Don't say I didn't never tell you. I'm picking Thurman, Danny Garcia, and his Virgil Ortiz, Ugas to all be Conor Ben rather easily. I would like to see Conor Ben, Danny Garcia. Stylistically, that matches up very well. Thurman, you know, but Yadinas Ugas, he could be a problem, man, because just because he was beat up by Spence doesn't mean Ugas is going to come in there and be as inactive as he was against Conor Ben. Ugas can fight, man. Ugas can fight. You know what I'm saying? So I have to link up with you on that. You know, Ugas can fight at the end of the day. He can, man. You saw what happened with Pacquiao. You saw what happened when he fought Sean Porter. He's not a terrible fighter. He just looked real bad in there against Spence for weird and eccentric reasons. You know what I'm saying? For odd reasons. After he was doing so well, all of a sudden he just shut down and got blasted, and the rest is what it is. You see, that's a trend, and people compliment the trend, but they don't look at it as being, is something wrong here? Like Danny Garcia looked terrible. Dennis Ugas ended up looking terrible when he was looking good. Both of them got their eye busted up and shit. I'm not going to mention Kell Brook because he's already damaged goods when he stepped in there. That's fact. You know what I'm saying? I have to underscore that 5 character word of abuse. Facts. He was damaged, dog. I remember when Joseph Parker had Burger King sponsorship when he first started his championship run. Big name sponsors are out there, just a matter of reeling them in. Well, you have to have a team that's able to reach out to them, you know, and my assuming, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going off my psychic, right? You definitely have to perform in the square, but you have to have a personality for them to say, okay, this is why we're sponsoring you, because you have this type of attraction from the casual fan base. Like Ryan Garcia doing his flash videos, his reaction back videos, all that goofy shit they loved. You know, Ryan Garcia was in a commercial, a full-blown commercial with Damian Lillard, who is a much popular athlete than Ryan Garcia, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. That's what you have to do. But unfortunately, you know, every fighter does not have that persona to attract the casual fan base. Like Ryan Garcia has bragging rights, man. This dude is crossing the bridge over to Hollywood to be a part of the silver screen. This guy was on a commercial already. That's big. That's global shit. That is global shit, man. And he probably get paid residuals or royalties off that commercial. That's wild, man. And look, and they don't even look. Damian Lillard supports boxers. His certain box, he support boxing. Damian Lillard and Ryan Garcia in 2 different sports. But like I say, Damian Lillard is way more popular than Ryan Garcia, but yet Lillard supports boxing. Imagine that shit. Shout out to Ryan Garcia in that perspective, man. Shout out to you. Champ Ross on deck. Salute to you, champ. Ben could probably beat Rocha and Blair, maybe. I think so. But that'll be fighting down, though. You know what I'm saying? That'll be fighting down. That'll be fighting down. What is he gonna get off, you know, Blair the Flair? What is he gonna get? I was ringside for first Ugas verse Amon on the undercard of Areola Stavern. I thought Ugas won the fight easy, was quietly robbed that night. It's all about politics, man. Like he did very well against Porter. But, you know, he was doing a little bit too much showboating for me. You know, Porter was the champion. You have to take the belt from the champion, and he didn't do that. You know, he was mad or frustrated on how Porter was boxing from the outside and keeping distance, and really wasn't trying to engage him like he thought Porter would. I mean, shout out to Porter for bringing a different type of game plan and being smart about it. I mean, they probably went in there thinking Porter was going to give them that Tasmanian Devil Porter, that Honey Badger Porter, and he didn't. He chose to box the man. I mean, Porter's a smart guy, man. Let's not get it twisted. He gave us the shock and awe Tasmanian Devil type fighting style, and then sometimes he switched it up. You know what I'm saying? He absolutely switched it up with Danny Garcia. He switched it up with Denis Ugas. You know what I'm saying? He even switched it up with Terrence Crawford. But when he fought Errol Spence, it was all out. You know what I'm saying? Like he threw everything out the window, kitchen sink, all that. Went mano a mano, chest to chest, because he felt he needed to do that. But he didn't fight Terrence Crawford like that, and he still get knocked out. I'm just saying, shawty. Nigel Ben was smart because he attached himself to a soccer team. He said he was a supporter. That gained him a lot of fans. And Ben has and will do the same thing, I think. That's smart. That's smart. Lillard's a big boxing head. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You know, we saw him over in Australia supporting Team Haney. You know what I'm saying? That's good. That's good. We seen more basketball players attempt to cross over to the boxing universe. Like they're big in the boxing community, but they can also gain more exposure by showing up in the boxing community. Boxing needed more. You know what I'm saying? Boxing needs the exposure more, in my opinion, because the basketball players get their exposure. You know what I'm saying? They play all the time. It's people going to see them playing all the time. Boxers, they don't box as a team all the time. You're not going to see boxers up here, 20 times a year. They're not going to get that exposure. So first of all, you're talking about a team effort, and you're talking about a one-on-one effort. It's way different than with the exposure. Way different to the notoriety from having a global lens vice a annual lens, which is about 1, 2, or 3 times, depending on what level you're on. Then Lillard fly to Australia, watch the Haney fight. He loves boxing. It would be cool if you could talk to him one day, WCS. Yeah, it would be cool, but you know how that goes. You put that out there, past, man. People on the phone. Hey, Damien, if that dude WCS called that, don't pick up the phone. Don't pick up the phone, goddammit. Don't pick up the phone. Don't fuck with him, man. You better than that, Damien. Don't give him no interview. Honestly, I pick a few super lightweights to beat Conor Ben, Regis, and Taylor to name a few. That'll be good fights. I don't think it'll be easier than you think. I don't know why people think Conor Ben can't box. I don't know. Y'all just don't like Conor Ben or what, man? But dude is no bum, for real. Iman was Don King Prize pupil at the time when he fought Ugas. So Ugas was up against it for sure. Need the KO. Yeah, boxing politics. Talk to him, champ. Talk to him, man. Haney's a real champion every way. A little boring for me, but legend all the same. Yeah, look, Haney did his thing, man. He came from the back to the front. And we can't even bring in the Abdullahevs and the Santiago situation no more. You can't bring in the Gamboa situation no more. And they don't even mention, him going the distance with Gamboa. But, he did get criticism. For me, too. I gave him criticism, too. And then the Jojo Diaz fight, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, ain't nothing to talk about. But when he went over there and beat Cambozo, and the way he did, emphatically, it's no more. You just remain steadfast on the criticism, because people then say, "Oh, you didn't knock him out." It don't fucking matter. He made history, bro. He made history. Period. I might take Ben to beat Ramirez, though. Speed and power would be enough. Man, you have to understand, Ben is not making 140. And those guys are acting like they ain't trying to even come up and pay the toll to cross that bridge to 147. They act like that's not even in the plans. Excuse me, what's your itinerary? 140. I mean, you've been in 140. No, just let me get my answer. It's so much 140. but hold on. You know, Taylor, Ramirez, Regis, hold on for a second. Looking at the ranking system in 140. That's what Regis did when Maurice Hooker was supposed to fall at the catchweight, right? Just like Danny Garcia did. Danny Garcia had 2 catchweight fights. You know what I'm saying? Lamont Peters was one of them before he moved up to 47, right? So when Maurice Hooker was like, the fight fell out, and he said, I want to fight at 147. Regis said, man, I ain't going up to 147. Fuck that, man. The fight's off. I ain't going to 147. Regis ain't trying to go there, dog. He said, hell no, I ain't going up to 47. Only because I like being on the toes, watching the fight, can get there with Haney fights. Hey, man, Haney did his thing, man. For anybody who's criticizing him where he at right now, you know, like why he ain't fighting this person, why he should fight Kambosos, it's contractually agreed upon. I went through this before. It'd be absolutely stupid of Kambosos not to get that check again. At least he has the opportunity to relish in the spotlight once again with the fighter who took his belts. He didn't get that opportunity with Teofimo Lopez. Now he gets that opportunity with Devin Haney per the contract. Now he has to come in here and come up with a different game plan to defeat Devin Haney and get a check. Even in a losing effort, he still got paid well because he's getting the lion's share. He still got paid well, and he's going about his life. That's all he has to do. Devin's going to go about his life, and Kambosos go about his life, because a lot of us believe that it's going to end the same way. Now, let's say, for instance, Devin Haney completes the Aussie double and comes up out of there. Defense of his unified titles. You're not going to be able to fuck with the Haneys now, and you're definitely not going to be able to fuck with him. He comes back from the Aussie double. It's not happening, people. It ain't happening. Who am I not to give them their respect for what they've been able to accomplish? My criticism earlier of Haney, in my opinion, was warranted. But you can no way, shape, or form sit up here and say he hasn't went over to the backyard. Like, if we praise, Terrence Crawford did the exact same thing, okay? They love talking about it. Errol Spence did the exact same thing, you know? Haney goes over there in somebody else's backyard and not pick up 1 title, 2 titles, but several titles. So you got to give the man his props. And he goes over there and defends his titles in the backyard again. Man, you're not going to be able to fuck with them ever in boxing, because they would have took the lowest amount of paid guarantee on a contract that was straight up doo-doo. They went over there under those circumstances, father not being there majority of the time, went into the ring, okay? Went into the ring, got the shit done in dramatic fashion, lopsided, and people still got criticism. But they just don't understand, man. You can't really fuck with the Haneys right now. You really can't. And yes, I'll put it out there. He did it better than Teofimo Lopez. In a way, he did it better than Teofimo. The reason why I'm saying that, Devin may not have fought a Lomachenko who was on the pound for pound list. All right. But let's not overlook the fact that Lomachenko already had a loss on his record. Let's not act like we see blind individuals. He had a loss on his record already. Let's not act like Lomachenko has all these wins. Lomachenko was defeated. Period. But for Devin to go over to Australia under the contract that he signed, making little money for such a big fight, he was under duress in a different way. But yet he still went over there and performed, and he made it look easy. That's all I'm saying on that shit, dog. He made the shit look easy. I like Ben just because I like him. Want him to fight better quality welterweights. He's gonna get. He's have to get there sooner or later, bro. He has to get to that better quality of opposition. I don't know how this fight is gonna be what the results are gonna be, but I don't see him beating Eubanks. I don't see Conor Ben beating Eubanks, man. I don't. I don't know what he looked like in sparring. I never seen Conor Ben spar. But what I seen in the ring with Eubanks Jr. and what I seen him spar, I don't see Conor Ben beating this guy, man. Now, if he's been partying too hard and he ain't in the best of shape and he had a hard weight cut, that's a different story. Haney was criticized for signing the contract with Top Rank, but now he has a path to greatness he is building on, and a few years before we'll understand why he did it. But now he has a path to greatness he is building on, and in a few years, people will understand why he did it. Well, no, it ain't gonna take a few years, that champ. They understand it right goddamn now. Whether they want to be, these individuals that act like they know but don't know, they know. You know what I'm saying? You can play stupid dumb all you want, but they know why he did it. They wanted to get the belts. They pretty much was humiliated by Mauricio Suleiman and a lot of other people for the belt he was carrying, right? They wanted to damn change it up with an Ellis of the Pride belt. What more is there to do? They held their ground when I was telling them, like, hey, man, fuck that belt. Man, they're going to keep on treating you like shit. Fuck it. But look, it had to be in a way God's work. Seriously, it had to be. Check this out. Not putting religion into it. Kambosos, I told y'all from the jump, this dude was not looking at Devin Haney. He was a fraud. Just so happened Lomachenko's situation, jumped off with Russia. He had to go over there and defend, and they had to do a roundabout and jump back in the saddle to get Devin Haney on board, because nobody else would even come close to making sense. Lomachenko out the picture, Devin Haney in the picture, and a much more dangerous opponent still. You know what I'm saying? But when I say that he did it better, he went over to the backyard. Like I said, he went over to the man's backyard. His father was denied entry for majority of the damn time he was over there. Came in at the last minute, and they still went in there and whooped ass. Period. Teofimo Lopez, fought Lomachenko in the most comfortable situation possible. And for what I understand, made $2 million. He had the most comfortable situation possible. Wasn't no duress for that fight except going in there and getting the victory and winning the titles. That's it. So I feel under the circumstances, Devin Haney did it better than Teo. But, they're neck and neck, except Devin had all the belts, the first to ever do it. They got to give him props for that, man. Haney has proven he would go anywhere to fight anyone. Who else in boxing is willing to do that and take that risk? Haney deserves all the credit for taking the risk and capitalizing on it. Yes, real talk. He did capitalize on it. They held their ground with all the damn criticism that was getting. They held their ground. It came back in rotation, and they was able to go over there and get it done. Like I said, he deserves all the credit, man. You can't put him as a boxer who ain't stepped up, who hasn't faced the competition, who hasn't challenged himself. That's over. That's done, bro. That's so done. That's burned. It's over. That shit is cremated. You can't say that. You got to give him his respect, man. I have full respect for Haney, true champ, perfect boxer. I just want them to KOs, but Clown Bosa got no chance. I want him to go back over there and defend them titles, man. I want him to go defend the titles successfully. Seriously. Because it's going to be hell on everybody. It's going to be hell on everybody. He go over there and defend those titles. It's going to be hell on everybody, man. Everybody that's at 135 and 140, because now, his negotiation credentials the price isn't the same today as they were yesterday. And I'm pretty sure anyone who know the Haneys, they love the money. So with that credential, they're going to be able to leverage that negotiation shit very, very well. And it's not going to be people like, well, you haven't fought nobody. You haven't fought nobody. Shit, they can't say that shit now. It's over. Don't get into the Loma hype. Never was. Look, you know how many groups I was kicked out of when I said Loma is overrated? I said that shit before he even fought Teo, man. I said that shit way back in the day. I said Anthony Joshua is robotic and he's not who you think he is. I said Lomachenko is an overrated fighter. This dude is somewhat of a fraud to begin with. He fought in the WBSS, which should have been recorded on his professional record, but he didn't want it. So then they get all this professional experience and want to come into the sport of boxing and say, we're going to win a championship on our second professional fight. And somebody fucked around and put him in there with a motherfucking tyrant, a motherfucking bandit in Orlando Salido. They put him in there with a motherfucking bandit, a grimy bandit that's been around the block. Alito say, no, man, I know what you've been doing. You wanted to pick the perfect window to come into this motherfucker, dog. The door was open for you. Now you wanted to damn jump through the window and say, ta-da, ta-da. Orlando say, no, I'm going to headbutt you. I'm gonna do you dirty, son. Because you up here getting this experience. And look, how much do you need when you're a two-time gold standard Olympian? How much boxing experience do you believe? Look, how much is it, bro? You was in the Olympics 2 tours fighting boys. You was a grown-ass man fighting boys. Still didn't have confidence. Came over here in the WBSS, didn't even want the damn fights recorded and say, yeah, we're going to make history. We're going to come over here and get a title on our second professional fight. Stop faking the funk, Lomachenko. Shout out to the Devin Haney, the greatest fighter in Australian history. Yeah, man, that shit was hilarious, man. Devin Haney being the greatest fighter in Australian history, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit was hilarious. That's a classic line right there, man. That's a classic one when they dropped that shit. We understood why Haney signed that contract before he actually put the pen to paper. Clear as day. Go get them belts. Clambozo, easy work. Yes, sir. Yeah, but why didn't he sign to Top Rank to get them fights if he wanted them? He runs a bar when B-level opponent got those belts. Let me educate you. The KING. If he was on the back end of the franchise title when Teofimo Lopez had the belts, how was he supposed to run anywhere to get anything? How? How is he going to make that happen? How? Who was Devin Haney signed with at the time? How are we going to make that happen? They weren't planning on making that fight happen, else it would have happened. Devin Haney had the WBC belt. We already know the history, bro. It's no need to go and revisit that. It was up to Teofimo to make that choice. And the public wasn't even really pushing for that fight between Lopez and Devin like that. It wasn't a huge push for that fight. It was either or. If Teo would have picked Haney or he would pick Kambosos. Some people was looking forward to see Devin Haney get his shot. But being the back and forth, the disrespect, the verbal sparring online and social media, people didn't know which way to look. All they knew is Teofimo had the juice. Long as Teo had the juice, 1 minute, him and Bill, Lopez Sr. and Bill on deck, on social media talking, blah, blah, blah. They shook hands, this and that, back and forth, negotiating, But it was much deeper that personal. It's much deeper than that. To the point where Teo said, no, fuck that. I'm not giving him the shot. He has to earn it. And then people turn around and say, well, Kambosos didn't earn it. Well, he's the mandatory. I'm fighting my mandatory. And that seemed to be, once again, was it God? Was it God? Seriously, was God intervening in this situation? Because Tio ended up being out of luck 3 fucking times, bro. So you talking about run to Bob with B level? How do you run the Bob? How? I don't get it, bro. How you saying he ran the Bob? Lula Bella did not have a network. Lula Bella is what to Cambosis. If you understand that dynamic, then you would know why the situation worked out the way it did. Bob is the damn overseer, the one with the network, the one that can make those changes happen. I don't think Devin Haney ran anywhere. I think it was a logical move for that to happen the way it did. How else was the fight going to be made? Lula Bella doesn't fuck with the PBC, so it wasn't like he had a lot of options. Okay, if you know the inside scoop on what happened with Lula Bella and that Deontay Wilder deal, then you would know he didn't have PBC as a fucking option in Showtime. So he had to go over here to Top Rank. Them guys didn't want to fight Haney, was paying cash money. Shout out to D-Ray Promotions on deck. Shout out to Jay Washington on deck. What's good? Yeah, I have to say Loma is that guy, man. He frauded his way for real. A bandit that needed to come in at 147 and street fight him. Hey, that's boxing. That's boxing. He was a bandit though, right? Bandit fits Orlando Salido, right? Bandit fits him because that's what bandits do. Bandits come in and cause chaos. That's what a bandit does. They're not Zorro. Zorro come in smooth. They get in and they get out. That's what Zorro did. A bandit come in and you know he's been there. Headbutts, dirty tactics. He fucked the goddamn entitled Lomachenko up. He introduced him properly. He said, "Oh, you trying to set history off me? You trying to set history off me, bro? No, you're not gonna do it, man. I've been around here too long. You spent too many tours in the Olympics, and let me introduce you to what the professional rank has to offer." That's what Orlando Salido gave Lomachenko in the most dirtiest manner possible, bro. Yeah, it was dirty. I can't disagree with you that pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? It was dirty. It was dirty, bro. Before that, he could have gone to Bob for Loma. What he could have done, bro, it is boxing has a team of people that work that. He has a team. Look, a lot of people are going to say Loma wasn't trying to fight Devin Haney. I already went through the whole spiel with the WBC tournament. Even Mauricio Sulaimanes came out and said that Lomachenko wasn't fighting after he won that WBC belt from Luke Campbell. He wasn't fighting. So in between time, he was elevated to franchise champion. Where should he have run? If Loma was this entitled fighter, why is he going to run for a fight that he's not going to get? When did Loma want to fight Devin Haney? He didn't have to fight Devin Haney because Devin was elevated the franchise title. Remember, I said that Devin Haney fought for what? An interim title. If he would have fought for a title eliminator, then Lomachenko would have fought Haney. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. People say that shit all the time. Oh, he was mandatory. He beat Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title, and soon thereafter, he was elevated to franchise title, WBC franchise title holder. He didn't have to do shit. Why? Haney didn't want it to do what they had to do. It's not like Haney's name didn't pop up to fight Lomachenko. Sure it did. Sure it did. But like we all heard before, they didn't think Haney sold tickets. Nobody was trying to see Haney fight. And then he had to further work harder. He had to continue to work hard because people thought he was a boring fighter to get what he needed to be, bro. What does he have to run to? Why don't you just look at where he went, where he ran to in Australia? He went to the Outback. The Outback. He went over there under harsh conditions, under inclement conditions, in somebody else's backyard, being called a boy, being humiliated, and everything else. His father being denied entry. That's not enough for you, bro. That's not enough for you. And you still talking about him chasing? Is that not enough chasing? He signed a contract where everybody shitted on him about. It was a toilet paper contract. He still went over there under all those conditions and got the job done. I don't know what else you want, bro. Tim Tszyu in Australia, best boxer, but has little brother Nikita Tszyu is a fucking beast. Legend coming out. Legend coming. Look out. We have to keep a look. We have to take a look at that. I'm gonna take a look at Nikita Tszyu. But you know, like I said, sometimes the DNA doesn't add up. Let me look this guy up. Oh yeah, I seen him fight 3-0. Yeah, I seen him fight. Let's see how he plays out, bro. You know, he's young in the game. Let's see how it plays out. Real talk. He has 2 knockouts, his first 2 fights, and a UD in his 6th fight. The good thing about it, he's fighting 6-rounders. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting 6-rounders. That's the good thing about it. This dude is fighting 6-rounders. Shout out to Nikita Tszyu, man. Appreciate y'all putting that up there. Campbell is a joke also. Haney has been calling these dudes out for years. Now he's running the Bob. Yeah, I can't. That's not for me to understand that, Mitch. Pound for pound, I don't know. Yeah, for Loma, it's not like Devin Haney didn't want to fight Lomachenko. Of course he wanted to fight Lomachenko. Of course he did. Anybody who's saying he didn't want to fight get the Lomachenko fight, why wouldn't he want to get the Lomachenko fight? If he would have fought a title eliminator, then Lomachenko would have had to fight Devin Haney. But Lomachenko said he wasn't fighting for the rest of the year after he won the WBC title. So therefore, Devin Haney fought for an interim title. I can't explain anything thorough than that. You can fight for an interim title all you want. That's not a title eliminator. Teofimo Lopez fought Masayoshi Nakatani for a title eliminator at IBF. I don't know how much I got to explain it. Only way to get the shot was fuck with Bob. It was designed that way and not by Haney. The zone was paying him like he weighed. Yeah. He was getting paid well over there. And, you know, Bob had his way, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't going to work out the way that it did with him going there fighting Kambosos because he was signed with Luda Bella. And Luda Bella was released, you know, pretty much from fucking with PBC because he tried to pretty much make that Deontay Wilder 3-fight deal behind people's back without Al Haymon's permission. That is true. They knew Loma wasn't going to be available. Why didn't they go the IBF route the way Teo did? Because they felt they can still get a belt, which they did. They stayed put and picked up the WBC coveted title. Now, the way they received it via email, okay, he got it. He got it still. He ended up getting the prize. He ended up getting the WBC title. And with him staying over there and not following, because he was ranked higher than Teofimo in the IBF, right? I can't give you the answer that you're looking for on why they didn't also go the IBF route. You know what I'm saying? They decided to stay put and they paid for it. They paid for it. They really did. They paid for it because Devin Haney could have very well had that result that Teofimo had. But somehow they made the decision to stay put at the WBC because they thought that was where they was going to be able to get to the pot of gold. It didn't work that way. It wasn't able to get to the pot of gold that way. It turned into a disaster, a plane crash. No respect. People were shading them every time they get. Even Mauricio Suleiman was sitting up here acting like one of his own titles wasn't shit just because Devin Haney had it. You know, they up here naming it the Pride Belt. I mean, it was crazy, bro. The amount of disrespect they received. But hey, once again, not to sit up here and become a meteorologist and tell you it's thundering and lightning out there and shit's falling from the sky again. But that's what was going on when they was over there with that WBC title. That's what was going on. Team Lopez did the right move because pretty much they had the clear view. They had a clear path. You know what I'm saying? Just like in b-ball, they had a clear path. They go over here and beat Nakatani. Boom, they get a title shot. And when they get Richard Comey, they're going to fight Lomachenko. That's the best way to do business in that circumstance. But Team Haney couldn't do it because they was over there at the WBC. They committed to stay right there. And it was disastrous until they finally got the shot when Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. It all worked out. God was a part of this entire situation. Now, who God was blessing, I don't know. Because Teofimo got blessed in the situation. Look, right? Kambosos was blessed in the situation, and Devin Haney was blessed in the situation. Kambosos will end up becoming undisputed lightweight champion by beating Teofimo Lopez, regardless if he was 100% healthy or not. He still was able to pick up the belts. So he was blessed. That would always be on his credential. His portfolio would say he defeated Teofimo Lopez, who defeated Vasil Lomachenko. He became what? He became the third lightweight franchise champion, George Kambosos. He got blessed. After all the delays, Kambosos got blessed. Then he became the asshole I knew he were. He became the fraud that I knew he was. I knew he was never looking for Devin Haney. He wanted Lomachenko to go over there to Australia and make the most money. Complexion for the protection. I'm telling you, bro. I told y'all he wasn't looking for no Gervonta Davis. He wasn't looking for no dang Devin Haney. He wanted to see Lomachenko fight. He wanted to wait till Lomachenko finished fighting Richard Comey, and he wanted to say, hey, guess what? Me and you, buddy. It didn't work out. God was in the building. They knew Loma wasn't going to be available. Why didn't they go the IBF route? It was well documented. Loma didn't want to fight Haney. He wasn't going to fight Haney. He wasn't, man. He wasn't. Because look, it wasn't nothing in stone for Devin Haney to be the mandatory. Come on, man. He was elevated to WBC champion after Lomachenko vacated and was designated franchise. Man, we already know the history, dog. Haney, good place. Haney's gold-plated statue in Melbourne, Sydney, Australia, are near completion. You ain't never lied, dog. Hey, when they doing the statue unveiling, when he go over there and defend his titles, they're gonna say, hey, and by the way, we have a double hitter after the fight. You know, like we said, after the fight, if you please make it out to the parking lot area, we're gonna have a statue unveiling of the greatest Australian fighter ever in the history of the sport. We're gonna do a statue unveiling of Devin the Dream Haney. We appreciate max participation on that, okay? Max participation. Popcorn would be served, hot dogs, Fanta drinks. They could have dropped that title the WBC gave Devin and signed the Bob. The zone hasn't got any fighters for him at 135. True. That's what they could have done. And it's a lot of what you mentioned that they could have done that. They could have. They could have did a lot of things. But that's why you have a team, you have individuals that's making decisions, and sometimes decisions look very, very cloudy in the beginning, bro. And that decision looked fucked up for Team Haney. But once again, I got to compliment his pops, man. Bill Haney, the way he was out here on the desert floor, Every time you turned around, he was up here advocating and protesting, advocating in verbal sparring wars with people on YouTube, just going back and forth, putting in hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, man. Putting hours of work. And they was in one of the most fucked up situations imaginable. People weren't respecting it. People was questioning his ability to be, on the team with Devin. Man, the stress level had to be out of this motherfucking scope. And then to take a decision that looks like the worst and turn this one of the best and his history making too, man, bro, why are we even talking about this, man? What he could have did. It's not even, dude, you need to be asking Bill that. I've heard almost everything that went on with all the live streams and stuff on why they stayed and everything else. Regardless of me talking about it, it's not going to change where they at now. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to penalize them for what they didn't do in the beginning when the result speaks for itself, as we currently know. The dude went over there, look, with the fucked up decision that a lot of people felt them standing in the WBC. It was so fucked up. But yet, he still went into an even more fucked up situation in Australia. So are you going to compliment them for survival? They survived, bro. Are you going to compliment them for fighting through adverse conditions outside the ring to get on the inside the ring to cement his legacy? I mean, come on, man. You got to show some love, man. Whether it was designed or not, Devin wasn't getting a fight with Lomachenko, or Lomachenko didn't want to fight. If Lomachenko felt he didn't want to fight Devin Haney, what is it? What is it up for conversation? If he was signed with Eddie Hearn, right? How long was he signed for Eddie Hearn? What was the stipulations? Because like you said, it wasn't 135 pounders signed. That's why him and his pops was over there to begin with. It wasn't crowded or congested with a lot of fighters that was currently in his division. The only fucked up part about it is that the zone don't have an infrastructure that's PPV. You know what I'm saying? So you really couldn't put on the big fights over there and say, oh, we're going to throw it on pay-per-view and we're going to charge $85 for you to see this person. No, it wasn't going down like that. So that's why he just was able to get the fights that was okay. But look what happened when he finally got to a point where he was no longer with Eddie Hearn and he was able to sign with Top Rank. And then not only that, people have to look at the side of Cambosis and what they had. They had very little alternatives to deal with a promotion. Luda Bella didn't have a network. Luda Bella didn't have a network, so he had to reach out. He had to freaking mend a bridge and make that shit happen, dog. That's what he had to do. He didn't have a choice, man. He had to get his fighter paid. He had to do business with the triple OG Bob Arum. They hung on to it, get the better split against the opponents and the voluntary fights they did. This dude has blind hindsight. How far off in 2 fights been up all damn night waiting. Hold on for a second. Dang. see. Was hoping on watching Mickey this morning. How far off is 2 fight? Been up all damn night waiting. How far off is 2 fight? Was hoping on watching Mickey this morning. Mickey Bay is damn near 40. It's time to hang him up. Not with Tevin Farmer. He's good. Tevin Farmer don't have no power like that to like do serious damage for Mickey Bay to be fighting at 40. Come on, man. Let's be realistic here. So let's do the numbers, right? So Loma would have had pulled more tickets. So what's his history? All right. You're talking about Lomachenko based off his Olympic pedigree. Where's the numbers? What are you basing the numbers, the raw numbers, on his history, on pulling in all these numbers? All he was doing is just facing opponents, man. He was just facing opponents. Yeah, he's a 3-weight champion, but where's the history? Where's the history of all these numbers that Loma was pulling? He was signed with Top Rank now. Why wasn't he a PPV star? He did his best numbers with his fight with Teofimo Lopez. So why wasn't he a pay-per-view star already if he was doing all these ticket sales and numbers and all that shit? Jay Ocho on deck. He said Dev sold out Marvel Stadium. Dev sold 2,600 tickets against JoJo tickets were $30 to $50. He can't sell. Dang. Y'all not showing Devin too much love. Well, pound for pound. Pound for pound, man. He is not on the side. But look, you in denial, brother. The tickets wasn't no $50. I went to the fight. That's cap. Jay Ocho said, man, come on now. You got to come with it. Because look, one thing I say about J8, he stuck with being a Devin Haney fan the whole way. So if anybody be able to tell you, he'll be able to tell you. I can't tell you. I didn't go to the fight. Dev can't sell, but he has roles in multi-million-dollar homes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, one thing about them, they negotiate the max. They was getting paid pretty well over there at the Zone when they was with Eddie. They was getting paid pretty well now. Don't trip. Dude, where's Cambosa's numbers? But he pulled in 40,000. The magnitude of the fight with him being the champion, he pulled in whatever numbers. I really don't get into numbers like that. You brought up the numbers. That's something I really don't get into because you never know the true raw numbers because they always fluff them up and bloviate the numbers. So we're really not getting into numbers right here. We're getting into the reality of it. The reality is what he was able to do from being at the bottom. People that were saying he wasn't even top 5 in the lightweight. People saying that he wasn't even one of the best considerable lightweights in the division. For him to be disrespected as much as he did, critiqued as much as he did, and how people scrutinize him as far as, hey, he's not living up to the Haney name. Why are we talking about numbers, bro? Come on, why are we talking about numbers? And he already the undisputed lightweight champion. Why are we talking about old ass toilet paper ass narratives, man? He's talking about Ellaby put it out, bro. Chill. We're not doing that. We're not doing what Ellaby put out. Why? Look, why is your main purpose and energy focused around attempting to debate the hindsight scenarios that don't have anything to do with the results? You trying to debate a scenario in hindsight as if it changes what the results truly are. The results is they didn't go and take the IBF route. They chose to stay put. For their actions, they suffered the inclement weather, all the obstacles, the disrespect, the scrutiny. They suffered all that. They went through it all. Only for them to be blessed with Lomachenko not being able to fight Cambozo, who I told y'all that's who he was waiting on anyway. And then get the opportunity to do what? Go over to Australia, once again in adverse conditions contractually, and get the job done in a fight. You cannot sit up here and debate that he went over there in adverse conditions versus administratively and physically. The contract was fucked up, and he went over there without his pops to the backyard of a fighter, which we all thought he had no way of winning. They was going to be something. It was going to be something that happened. They was going to try to rob him on the scorecards or something. And he went in there and did that shit with ease. Absolute fucking ease. Man, it's not my energy, bro. Because look, me doing that is a part of my life that I can't get back. You're talking about something and you expect me to invest energy. I can see if it was Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence because the fight hadn't happened. But you want me to talk about something with debate energy to debate about situations that could have happened. That shit is infinity. Well, what if this right here? What if that right there? And why he didn't do this? And why don't we say, well, if he would have did that in the beginning, would he have been in the position that he was to go over to Australia and win the titles? If he would have did, and to your debate, you know what I'm saying? To your question, if he would have went the IBF route, you know what I'm saying? Would he have been in the position he was to get the shot? It's not how you start, it's how you finish, bro. I don't care about none of that poll shit, bro. Real talk. I don't care about none of that poll stuff, for real. I don't. Cambosos was the same one that criticized Teofimo, saying he was undisputed. And mere seconds after he left the ropes, his people went up there and changed his IG to undisputed lightweight world champion. I'm not worrying about no polls, man. I'm not worrying about that shit. I'm saying the numbers Ellaby put out and what's on Google saying he sold 2,600 against JoJo. Listen, Devin Haney is not signed to Mayweather Promotions. And Devin Haney wasn't signed to PBC. He never signed to Floyd Mayweather. So therefore, you telling me what Ellaby put out is irrelevant irrelevant to me to discuss in depth with anybody that's listening, even you, man. It's not. I'm not putting that shit on the clock. When Cambosos put up poll, I also chose Loma only because I thought it would make a more exciting fight than Haney. It's a lot of people thought Haney wasn't an exciting fight, period. And some of them still feel that way. They feel like, he doesn't possess that knockout power. He is an exciting fighter. But at the end of the day, these same people will sit up here and brag about the sport being the sweet science. With the sweet science, you have different styles, different fighters. You have fighters who look technically amazing. And then you have fighters who look technically dysfunctional. Either way, the dysfunctional fighters sometimes win over the crowd the most because they're up here doing some shit that's not supposed to work, and it's working. They're knocking out fighters. They're winning fights, and they're very unorthodox and odd. So the Sweet Science has various ingredients when it comes to the sweets, to the discipline of the sport. It has many ingredients to it, man. You ask me how would he sold more than Loma? And I was pretty much putting it out there that you telling me to Google shit, and a lot of inaccuracies is out there, especially when you're talking about the numbers that just came in for Tank Davis and Rolly Romero. I don't rock with the numbers that are bloviated that's out there on Google. You know what I'm saying? Even with the information that I source, I have to source it with 2 or 3 other freaking outlets to see if it's consistencies. If it's not consistent, I'm not really gonna speak about it in depth, bro. I have to verify it. Just like I did the damn Raphael shit. Just because he put it out and everybody knows him and he get approved for every credential and all this shit, even him, I have to see if his compeers or his colleagues are out here putting up the same information. And no, I'm not talking about adding him either. I'm talking about other outlets, other individuals that's on the mainstream media level that's caveating to Dan Raphael, Mike Coffinger, Keith Ioli. You know, I have to see who else is talking about this shit. Keith Idek. Floyd fights were exciting, but at the end of the day, he was undefeated. He was. That's true words. A lot of people saying the same thing about Floyd, how he was willing to pretty much box and say it's hit or not get hit. Let's not play stupid. Let's not play stupid when y'all was comparing Devin Haney to Floyd. So if you're gonna compare Devin Haney to Floyd, compare him to the verbiage too. Compare him to the mentality of it too. It's hit or not get hit. If he wants to be able to carry on a complete sentence when he's in his 40s and not be up here, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. If you want to sit up here and be a motherfucking comic, then go in there and just let yourself get terminated. But it's a lot of fighters and brothers. You know, the black fighters was known to hit and not get hit. I use this example all the time. Riddick Bowe has 1 loss to his resume, right? Right? You look at how many fights he had, and then you look at somebody like Tim Witherspoon. You look at Tim Witherspoon, he's still able to be heard clearly. Clearly. And he was in some battles. Riddick Bowe was in some battles, but he only had 1 loss. His physical anatomy is different. It's hit or not get hit. Well, look at Sean Porter. Sean Porter is taking punishment. You know, he chose the brawling style, but he can speak clear as he want to. But then you look at Brandon Rios, you can barely understand the word he's saying. So why are we going to criticize Devin Haney, who y'all was trying to compare to Floyd Mayweather, and going in there boxing and hitting and not get hit? Why are we going to sit up here and act like we weren't comparing him to Floyd Mayweather before? Give me Haney skills and Tank power. I'm killing them. Oh, man. What? Dude. What? Haney skills, Tank's power. What? Crazy, dog. That shit changes boxing, man. And then you also have to include too, there, Bateman, goddamn the height, not just the skills. Put Haney's height, you know, with that speed, you know, that skill set and the power. Oh man, we're talking about a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a whole nother level. It's crazy. Yeah, Floyd was. Absolutely, I agree with that. But a lot of people look at Devin Haney's style and they was comparing him to Floyd. But you just can't say physically him emulating the style of Floyd Mayweather. But then you want to just exclude the fact that it involves hitting. Hit and not get hit. Hit or not get hit. It does involve that. That's a huge role in how they go in there and do business. Hit or not get hit. Now, of course, I tell people this is what changed it for me. Regardless of what they want to say, is when they fought Jorge Linares, and it proved that they was at one point in time. I didn't think the Haneys gave a fuck about the fans, but when he fought Jorge Linares, and it was a much aggressive nature, that proved to me that they was trying to be more exciting and take more risk in there. Seriously, I didn't get that with Gamboa, but I got that with Linares, bro. I got it with Linares, and he did it. He watched him until he was caught in the 10th round. And all people remember, like they bring up Yorkis Gamboa and Terrence Crawford getting hurt. That's all they remember from the Jorge Linares fight when Devin Haney was caught on the chin and stumbled back to his corner. That's all they fucking remember. They don't remember how he fought from the first round to the 10th. They don't remember, bro. They just remember him getting caught in the 10th and he held on and did what was smart to make sure he gathered his legs and everything. That's the selfishness of the sport. That's the selfishness of the fans who support. Only because I didn't like Mayweather's fighting style, but it worked for him. Sir Ken on deck. What's good with this, Ken? How you feeling, bro? World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button, says Sir Ken on deck. What's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Man, that's what it is, man. It's all, look, if you didn't have, even pound for pound, if he didn't have his opinion of the sport, everybody's way of thinking is going to be different when it comes to this boxing. I'm not feeling no type of way about the way he thinks, but who am I to sit up here and give my life away about scenarios that can go 1,000 times when it comes around this corner, when it goes around the next corner, up that hill, around that bend, back down the hill, around the next corner, up a tree, behind a tree, jump on top of a building. We're not doing that. You're trying to basically admit yourself to the asylum. You're trying to go up here and get a custom fitted straitjacket. Admit me, please. I'm not feeling well. Some of these scenarios I was just talking about on WCS, I didn't get the answer I was looking for. I need to be admitted. Please. I need my medication. That's what it would have been if I chose to entertain you about scenarios in hindsight that can continue and continue and continue. Why he didn't do this? Why he didn't do that? What's the purpose of him not doing this? What he should have did was, man, it's too much. You have to talk about what he did accomplish. You have to understand that Lomachenko was elevated, and the rest that Team Haney had to deal with after that reality check. They were stuck for a minute. It's not that the clutch wasn't working. It's the terrain for which they was in. They didn't have the type of vehicle at the time to get out of that shit. They had to wait around. They had to continue to do what they had to do until the shit cleared up. And then when the damn sun shined through, when Lomachenko was denied, he had to go over there and fight a war. That's when the sunshine broke through the clouds and got down. They said, hey, guess what? We have good news for you. We have paperwork from Kambosos, the Lomachenko, who they originally wanted to fight anyway. That fell through. So we coming back to you. Now, I'm not saying they didn't go to the Haneys in the beginning with some shit, because from what I heard, they did. And Team Haney wasn't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? All the damn videos and shit that was out. It's not like they didn't go to them, but the Haneys didn't want to accept the numbers that they was looking at, probably. So when it came back around to him, guess what? They had to accept it because Lomachenko said he accepted everything, all the demands, he met everything that they wanted, but yet they called him to fight a war. So now they went right back to the Haneys, which was like, you either take the fight or leave it. We'll go find somebody else. And the rest is what it is, bro. The rest is what it is, man. It made me buy fights. And man, it's been glorious, man. I'm at 3 hours, man. I gotta take care of some shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take care of some stuff. Thank y'all for pulling up, man. Damn good input from everyone that's in the chat as always. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for interacting. Hit the like button. That's all you gotta do. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? At No Fake News Battlegrounds. Hit the like button. Continue to support your boy. And I will be on later. Turn up and tune in to World Combat